This is episode 63 of the VR Gaming Podcast. I'm Justin, aka mame-fan, and I'm in my Quest 3 as I record this right now, and I'm here with Alex, aka Virtual Insider. Alex, are you in your PSVR 2 or are you recording with a regular mic?
I'm just recording with a regular microphone. I'm not recording any Quest 3, just to make sure everybody is aware of the situation.
Yeah, so if I have any weird sound pops, you can blame the Quest 3. Sometimes it does that.
Your mic always sounds... Whenever you record with the Quest 3, like, you sound so sexy.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, I mean, It turns me on, honestly. It's really hard to concentrate when I listen to your deep, sensual tones.
You know, episode 69 isn't too far away. For that episode, I should fly to London, and we can take care of your craving.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Imagine if we're in the same room. What would we do?
I don't know.
The mind boggles. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
The possibilities.
Yeah, but you do have a pesky girlfriend, so I don't know.
Yeah, we can get a hotel or something. It's fine. It's no problem.
You did recently meet one of your Discord guys that, from being Virtual Insider.
Yeah. He listens to us as well.
Yeah, so Ivan, we play VR games with him sometimes. So did you meet him originally on your Discord?
London for work, and I went and met up with him. So that's cool. Meeting him in person.
Did you consummate your relationship?
I just used my hands. I didn't do anything else.
That's not cheating. That's fine.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah. And he has a girlfriend too. Or is he married? I forgot.
Yeah. He's married now, yeah. He's
married.
He's wifed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to the games.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea.
Enough gay grab-assing. So the last game to come out, what did it come out? It came out yesterday, Zombie Army VR. Let me get that. This is a gameplay trailer playing here. So I sometimes play games with Casey. She has a Quest 3. She's been saying
did you play this with Casey?
I tried to.
Okay.
So she's been wanting like a mindless shooting game, and then I told her about this. Looks pretty fucking mindless, and so she got it. She pre-ordered it, and then I pre-ordered it on Quest also because this doesn't have crossplay. I would have bought it on Steam, but you can't play Steam and Quest together. So we both bought it, installed it, and we got into the game. And it seemed like you had to do tutorial first, so we both went through this tutorial thing. Then we were trying to figure out how to do co-op, and that took us a while. It was kind of confusing. But we got to the the online menu, and we just could not get it to work. I invited her, nothing happened. She invited me to a hosted match, nothing happened. Then we were going to the online, just like trying to see if we could match with anybody, and it wouldn't work. And so then I left a negative review of the game on the Meta app, and then the developer responded that actually there was some internet outage affecting lots of stuff, and that's what caused it. But I haven't gotten to go back in to try co-op.
Oh yeah, there was actually.
There was a Unity outage or something.
In fact, it was. Yeah, it was. I think it's a Google thing, but I think they used some sort of Google services for their online built-in Unity thing. Because I was trying to test a game with Flat to VR, and we had the same problem where we literally couldn't connect to each other for a few hours. So it was just bad timing, I think.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I tried to find a way to delete the review, and I couldn't even see a way to delete it. So that sucks. It looked like I could edit the review, but I couldn't just straight delete it. So we just figured, all right, well, let's just both play single player and we'll just keep talking. Like we were we were doing a voice chat thing at the same time. So while we played, I was asking her what she thought, and so she's used to Quest games because she doesn't have a PC. And her initial reaction was, "This looks blurry. It looks worse than what she's used to." And I definitely noticed. So when if I moved my hand in front of my face, there's very noticeable reprojection. So it has performance issues. Then on the handgun, when I was first trying that, I was like, this gun angle seems off. So, and then I saw some other reviewers saying they need gun angle settings. Then on your left shoulder, you have a machine gun. On your right shoulder, you have a sniper rifle. Your right hip, you have a handgun. So tell me what you think about this. When you grab the machine gun on your left shoulder and you pull it down, your left hand is on the trigger. Like it's right there, like holding that part of the gun. Now, do you think that's abnormal? It felt strange to me. So I was like, all right, well, then I have to throw this gun over to my right hand to hold this machine gun the way I normally would in a game. So then I was wondering, do most games, do they just, when you grab a gun on your left shoulder, isn't your left hand going to be like on the front of the gun?
I don't
Instead
know.
of,
I don't. That seems sound. I mean, generally, what I usually do if you have to grab something over like your other shoulder, if it's a gun, I'll just use my right hand over my left shoulder.
right hand over your left shoulder. Okay. I don't know if I tried that.
I
Maybe
just
that's
I
what I
always
needed to do.
expect whatever hand is that's grabbing hold of it would be the dominant hand. So like, because you can dual wield in this game as well, so I guess they would expect people to use the left hand over the shoulder
Yeah.
to like have a second gun in their other hand. So to me
Okay.
that does make sense, to be honest.
Okay. I should have tried that then. I don't think I did. Um. So yeah, it was pretty blurry. The graph. So in this trailer we're on YouTube right now, and you can see this gameplay video. This looks way better than what it looked like on Quest. It didn't look
Yeah.
terrible, but it it definitely didn't impress Casey, who's used to Quest graphics. And we didn't get to play it for long enough, so I had to go pick up my daughter. So I can't say a lot about it, but I wasn't impressed. But when I at least one thing that I was wondering about, when you press menu, the menu pops up in front of you. This was made by the Sniper Elite devs, because it's a lot like Sniper Elite. It has the same like kill cams, and those annoyed Casey actually. So I told her you can turn those off. But anyway, in the Sniper
Right.
Elite games, when you do the menu always appeared in the same place, no matter which way you were facing, because they made that game as if you were just sitting in a chair, like with a controller or
Right.
something, I guess. But in this game, the menu actually comes up where you're facing, from what I could tell. So that's an improvement. I think the mechanics and the grabbing and stuff, I think they've improved some of it. And I don't remember about grenades in the previous games, but you can actually throw the grenade. Unlike some VR games where they make you like make an arc come up and you
Yeah.
don't really get to throw it. You can throw them for real. There's melee in this game, but the melee was weird. Like when I meleeed, so I'd have a pipe in my hand. If I hit a zombie once in the head, their head falls off and they're dead. It was just like, what? It's just
Right.
I didn't hit them with a machete.
Yeah.
So it felt strange. Um I got to like, I don't know, like level 2. And there's not much to say. I need to play it more. It and in
Yeah.
the
Well,
review.
I was waiting to play it with you, so
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm going to refund it, and I'll get it on Steam.
yeah.
Because the only reason I bought it on Quest was so I could play it with her. But I don't think either of us is interested in playing it again on Quest, at least.
Yeah,
So
I'm not. I'm not really. I mean, it's not a game I would never play by myself. I'm sick of
Mhm.
like zombie games in VR.
Yeah,
to
me
be
too.
honest, but if it's co-op, it just generally makes things more fun. Like Arizona Sunshine 2 to me was pretty fun.
Yeah.
In co-op, and this could be fun in co-op, but I'm not expecting much just based on the previous games that they've done. So,
And I heard a reviewer say 5 hours, but I don't know if they went through it really fast or what. Sometimes that
yeah, a
happens.
lot of reviewers give really short play times. Like Arizona Sunshine, some people were saying it was like 3 to 4 hours. It took me 7.
Yeah.
I think Midnight Walk, people were saying it was like a 4-hour game, and it took me 6.5 or something. So
Mm-hmm.
I think reviewers generally tend to, because they're trying to get the games played through for reviews, they tend to get through them a bit quicker than a general playthrough.
Yep. So I don't really have anything else I would need to play this more. So do you want to go to, speaking of, do you want to go to the Midnight Walk?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
That's a really good game.
And we both beat it.
Yeah,
You
I've
said
actually finished something for a change.
Yeah, you said 6.5 hours, 6.5. That's what it took me. 6.5 hours.
Yeah. It's about, yeah, and to be honest, I think it's perfect length as well. Like, it's one of those games where I think if it just they just kept going with it, it would just eventually kind of like drag a bit. I feel like it just goes on as long as it needs to.
Yeah.
Because it's like an incredibly like story driven, narrative driven game.
Yeah.
And there's only so much of this. Like, there's no real like shooting. You're not really doing anything other than solving a few little puzzles, which none of them are particularly that hard. It's mostly about the story and the journey that the game's taking you on. So I think it's a perfect length. I think it just finishes when it needs to, personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the last episode, I think I might have been on the 4th chapter, and I thought I was near the end, but I wasn't actually. There are 6 chapters. And I think the 2nd chapter is my favorite, and I'm curious if you agree. The second one is the tale of the loathsome Mulgrim.
Yeah, I like that chapter a lot. I think the game surprised me in because it's obviously divided up into these chapters, and it does actually. Each chapter is telling like a story of an individual character, and that one was definitely the most like emotional in a way. Like when it ended, it was like, oh wow, that made me feel made me feel alive as a human. The others didn't, apart from the ending. The ending like really got me like choked up a bit. I don't know. There is 2 possible endings, which I won't spoil. I would be curious what you picked. Maybe we can, but obviously,
I can't even remember what the ending was.
Oh, really had an impact on you then.
It really did. Well, I beat it like right after, almost like right after we recorded the last podcast. So it was like like a month ago, and I can't really remember. I mean, something emotional happens in the game to one of your friends, and I don't know if you mean, is it related to that?
Well, you have the ending, and you have 2 choices, and you can pick which one you want.
Okay, I picked the choice that was like the more obvious one that I think.
The one on the left.
I can't remember. It was probably the one that most people would pick.
Was it dark or light?
Probably light.
Okay. I mean, that's the one I chose. I actually went back and did both endings, and I wish I'd not done that, because the endings are very, very similar, apart from very subtle differences. So my recommendation would be, when you get to the end, pick one and then just leave it at that. Like, that's your decision. Just to enjoy whatever the ending is, and then don't bother. Because you can literally just reload and go back to the same point, do a little bit of thing, and then choose the other ending, which I wish I'd not done. Because after I did the first ending, I was like really choked up, and like it was like a really beautiful ending, but also sad at the same time. And then I went back and did the other ending, and it kind of took the edge off it a bit for me. So I just wish I'd not bothered doing like both endings.
Well, now I need to go back and watch the ending on YouTube because I really can't remember. I know, something bad happens. I don't know if it's like episode like chapter 5 or something, or if it was chapter 6, but something bad happens, and I know then it kind of gets redeemed, and I don't remember if that happens at the
Yeah.
ending or a little bit before that. Is the thing that choked you up the redemption part?
No, I mean I can't say what it is because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm literally going to spoil the end.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all I'll say is that the game overall, I know you said like the second chapter to you, which is where you've got this like monster thing, which something happens at the end of that chapter, which
Yeah.
is quite like emotionally driven.
And it makes you
Um,
care about the monster. I'll just say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This monster's trying to
because
kill you, but at the
we're
same time you care about it.
because we're kind of sat here talking and we can't say what we want to say, and it's probably not very good to listen to us just waffle on about something where we can't even specifically say what it is. But overall, like I know, I think you said that ultimately you felt like that was the peak of the game.
Yeah.
For me, that wasn't like it was
Okay.
a good chapter, but
Okay.
overall, I felt like the overall game, like it just every chapter has like a different story,
Yeah.
different theming. Like some of them, you're in the snow, which is actually on this YouTube video right now, and you're like having to because you're guiding this pothead guy who's like got this flame, and you basically what you're trying to do is get this pothead to the top of the mountain with the flame still on. If his flame goes out, then it's game over. Like the whole thing's gonna end. And then there's sections where like there's like really strong wind, like blizzards, and you're having to guide the pothead to cover between like these blasts of wind, which I thought was really cool. Like, and also like the music in this game, like the sound design.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We always said last time, it's just incredible. So like even like just this moment where you're in this snow, like the way that they have the wind come in, but like the sound, it's almost like music playing with the sound of the wind come in, like this really intense sound. It just all adds just to the intensity of the moment. It's just really really well done. One of my highlights was there's a section where you've got like this huge giant character, and you
Oh,
can literally go inside of him.
it's like the father. Is it?
Yeah, and
Uh,
he's like a giant. He's like towers above you,
mm-hmm.
and you go inside and you have to put his heart together and shit. And
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool because you're literally inside this like big giant, and you can look out of the front of the giant. Like there's like a window kind of weird thing that you can see the world out of it, and like the whole because the giant's moving around, like the whole world's moving around, and it just felt really cool, like feeling like you're inside this big giant.
Yeah.
And then there was just like sections where they were really creative. I thought with the because obviously one of the big mechanics of this game is the ability to close your eyes, and you can and perfect time, and you can walk up to like these eyes and then close your eyes, and then it'll like open a door or something. And they just really play with that mechanic a lot, where you've got monsters that they'll be coming after you. But if you close your eyes time it right and close your eyes, then they'll just like disappear, so they're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or there'll be somewhere you can close your eyes and then they'll move and they'll start moving around, and then you close your eyes again and then you make them turn into statues. So they really play around with that mechanic, which I thought was really well done. And the game, I know we talked about this last time, but the game's not scary, but it kind of is scary and sometimes. Like, there was definitely sections. There's these monsters. There's the worst ones for me, where
Spider leg.
They've got spider leg ones, yeah. Because the way that they work is that, like, they're really slow. Like, if you stand there and look at them, they'll not move. Then all of a sudden they'll like move really really quickly. So if you see one, you need to run because you know that it's only a matter of time before they're going to catch you up. And I thought that was really like
They'll scream also.
Yeah, they have like these shells that open up, and then they've got this weird face, and they've got like these spider legs, and they're basically just sprinting at you.
Yeah.
So there are sections where you're going like through these caves, and there's loads of them, and you're like, I'm just like running through there because I know if one of these things wakes up, I'm fucked basically. So I'm just running through there. I've got like you've got a matchstick in your hand as a torch, and it's just the atmosphere is really incredible in sections of this game, and that's why for me, like I know you're saying about the second chapter being like the peak
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, but I just felt like the rest of the game just had enough diversity and the overall. I just felt like it was a overall just a really solid package. Like the from start to finish, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, well,
This could be my game of the year.
after chapter two's emotion, which I don't think any game has ever made me like care about a bad guy. I was trying to think of it. Like I was trying to think of a game where they made me like really care about a bad guy or feel sympathy. This might be the only game. I don't know. Um, After that, I wanted to
Yeah,
feel something like that again, and I thought the game would keep doing stuff like that, and it just didn't. Like I didn't feel any emotion really for anything until that one thing that that we were hinting about.
yeah.
Um, I think that was the only other emotional thing for me.
You're talking about Housey.
Yes, Housey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So I was kind of disappointed. Like this game's
Yeah, I
super.
mean, if you went in with
Sorry, this game's super atmospheric, and the graphics are really nice, and the art is great, and everything. But like without that emotion, the one knock I have on this game is that like I'm not too into the gameplay because it's kind of
yeah,
basic. The puzzles aren't very challenging or anything.
yeah,
So maybe if it was more challenging, maybe I would have liked it more.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's definitely not a challenging game. Like, there's a few moments, like I said, there are definitely puzzles and things, but none of it was particularly difficult. And they even like give you like these little pieces of paper that you can pick up, which basically shows you what you need to do.
yeah.
So you never really get stuck.
But oh, did you ever get a bug? Any bugs?
I think maybe I can't remember. There might have been one
Because remember, I had
thing
the
that
bug where I had
happened.
to restart the whole. I had to restart chapter two because of that trash can guy. I couldn't interact with him.
Oh, I never had that. No.
Okay. Um, what was I
Oh,
gonna
another
say?
character actually. There's a couple of times you meet this character. It reminds me a bit of the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
Uh, I thought that was a great character. Like that was a really like sinister, menacing like creature,
yeah,
but it wasn't. It wasn't actually an enemy. It's like it's telling you a story, and it's got this really cool like voice. That the way it talks and everything is really cool. Because there's one section where you have to like there's like tablets in front of you, like big massive stones, and you have to pick the order that the story needs to be told in, and then
yeah.
he tells this story, and I thought that was a really cool
That
moment.
that
But
was a
then
good
while
good
he's
puzzle.
yeah yeah, and whilst he's telling the story, he's like moving around, and he gets really big sometimes, and I thought that character was really like interesting and sinister, but even though it wasn't actually an enemy, I just thought that was kind of a very creepy vibe from that character.
Yeah, I definitely thought that character was gonna end up an enemy.
Yeah, me too. Because it just
Yeah,
felt like it could definitely go that way. I
yeah.
think like they could have made this game way scarier, which is probably was by design. They probably didn't want it to be like ultra scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the big thing about this game is just how it just thinks outside the box. It just feels like something. It's like when you play video games, you can always feel like other video games in a video game. You always feel like, oh, that's from this game, or this
Yeah,
feels like it's kind of similar to that game. Whereas this feels completely unique. Like it's thinking outside the box. The characters feel completely unique. Like maybe you can make some comparisons to movies, like what the Tim Burton stuff.
yeah,
But video game wise, this feels really unique to me. Like it's really special.
yeah. Except for the little nightmares kind of stuff, I guess. But um, there's another game we're gonna talk about that's made me feel even more like Little Nightmares more than this game.
Yeah.
Um, what else was I gonna say about this? Yeah, I liked it a lot. I recommend it. I don't remember. Was it 40? It was a 35. I
35
can't remember.
maybe. Yeah, it's not cheap, but even after I've played it, I don't regret buying it at that price. Honestly,
Yeah, I don't regret it either. I'm just
it's probably yeah.
I'm just disappointed, like I said, about it didn't maintain that emotion. But I
I
think
think it's difficult to do that.
yeah, just chapter 2 was worth it to me. Just that one.
Yeah.
Um, and do you remember the guy? Was there a guy? Remember, I think I said it before. Who reminded me of accounting? And do you
Oh
agree?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There
the
is.
guy with
It's
his
only a very
stick.
one small section.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like you go into a graveyard and like there's lots of sticks, and he's like, you pick up a stick and he's like, "Oh, that's my stick. Why are you picking up my stick?" It's very
yeah.
accounting.
I stood
Uh,
there and just listened to his whole speech. Like it took a
yeah,
long time until it started looping. So yeah,
yeah. That's cool. That was a cool little moment.
yeah,
I felt like they were going to have more of that in there actually after that, but that's literally like the only
yeah,
time they have that kind of humor in it.
yeah.
It's funny
Any,
though. It's good.
anything else?
No, I just think that I don't know how well it's sold. It doesn't look like it's got like huge amounts of sales numbers, and I just think that this is a game that if you're interested in it, just maybe wait for a sale if you feel like it is too expensive, but definitely buy it at some point. It's just too good not to play.
Yeah. All right. So the next game that I alluded to is Out of Sight VR, which Alex worked on. He's in the credits.
I
I
am.
beat.
I
Yeah.
have credits in a game.
Yeah, I beat it, and Alex Gilling. I don't know if I should have said your last name, but well, it's
It's
there
fine.
publicly. It's there publicly. Um.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, this game reminds me of little. I said before the Midnight Walk reminded me of Little Nightmares. This game reminds me of Little Nightmares even more. Um.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so you play as this little girl who has her eyeballs removed, and she has a blindfold on, and then you
I think that was
also
like a spoiler, but
oh that her eyeballs are removed. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Oh,
it's fine.
well, she has. Forget I said that. She has a blindfold on, and she has a teddy bear. When she's holding the teddy bear, it's you view everything in first person. If you place the teddy bear down, when you can only place the teddy bear in certain spots where there's like a purple or pink blanket, then you view from the teddy bear's eyes and you stay stationary, and she runs around in third person, and you're controlling her. So I've never played a game like that. Have you?
No, some people have called it like second person, where because
Mm-hmm.
technically you're controlling yourself, but from another perspective.
Uh huh.
So like you're not like just a camera. You are yourself, but so you can yeah. It's like some people have said this is like the definition of a second perspective game,
Okay.
which I don't think there's many games that do that, which is quite interesting.
So yeah, that really pulled me in from the beginning. I was really interested by that, and then also the scale of the girl. When you're the bear, the girl is so big. It's so weird to be controlling this little character. Actually, I shouldn't say little, because a lot of times she's towering over you, and it's so weird to control her in real time and just see her run around like really fast when she's so fucking big. Didn't you think that was just a weird feeling?
I think it's definitely one of the big selling points of playing this game in VR.
Yeah.
One we decided to do that a while ago because it just you are obviously playing a little teddy bear,
Uh
so
huh.
like your tiny little teddy,
Yeah.
and we wanted to make you feel like you're playing a teddy. And one of the things we can do in VR obviously is play with the scale.
Yeah.
So everything feels like you feel tiny in this like big world, and I think it works well. I think it really gives it like a feeling of you're just this small little teddy being carried around by this little girl, and
Yeah.
then the girl's like really large, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, every time there was a setting where the girl was really big, I really liked it. Like I wish there had been more. I feel like later on in the game, there was more like this. The bear was farther away, and the girl was kind of a multiple feet away doing stuff. So I remember
Yeah,
feeling more in the beginning of the game that the girl was giant. I think I don't know if you would remember. I guess the puzzles get more complicated, and she has to go across bigger areas later in the game. So she's
yeah.
a little bit
You
farther
tend.
away.
I think it's when like if you put because there are times where you obviously you have to basically place Teddy down on on these places,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can place him like low down on the floor or something. So then she feels bigger.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then other times you can lift your arms up, like lift Sophie, the little girl's arms up,
Yeah.
and place you up onto like cabinets and things. And then obviously you're looking down, so then the sense of scale of her definitely feels not as big. Like there's sometimes where you look like up on these rails, and she's like you're looking down almost like into the
Yeah.
room. So the sense of scale is not as strong in those scenarios.
I I guess that's why a lot of times the teddy went up high, but I guess you'd have to do that so that you could see everything. So otherwise, if the bear was down low, his view is going to get blocked by a desk or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing with this is just it's playing around with this idea of you're not you're controlling Sophie, but you're also seeing through the bear. So it's detached. Like you can detach your eyes from the player character in a way, which makes it different. So you can place Teddy in all these different places, and there's points in the game where you're on these rails, and you can like use Sophie to move levers, and then you move Teddy around on the rail and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of playing around with that idea of you being detached from your body.
I might have picked. I picked the wrong video for this. I did the trailer, and I meant to
Yes, the
do.
trailer.
Yeah, I meant to do actual gameplay, and that's what I'm showing now on YouTube. Just
Okay.
actual straight
Yeah.
gameplay. Yeah, I know it
Yeah,
gets
because the trailer
boring.
was
It's boring to watch
watching
the
the
trailer
trailer
over
over
and
and
over.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, oh, there you go. There's the girl standing over the teddy bear, and in VR, she just looks so
Yeah.
huge. Um, so when I first started the game, I looked at the options, and there are all these vignette options. The vignette might have been on by default, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I turned it off, of course. But then once I started playing the game, there were parts where the teddy gets put on a rail platform, and then he'll slide. And then I was like, oh, okay, now I see why they did the vignette, because this probably would feel a little crazy to some people when you're looking first
Um.
person through the teddy's eyes, and then he's on this thing that's sliding on a rail. It felt a little
Yeah.
weird. I could see why that might bother some people.
Yeah. The vignette was like it's not a traditional kind of vignette where it kicks in kind of when you turn and stuff. It's more restricting your view in terms of like your teddy and like the fringes of your view have got
The
like
fringes, okay.
these the fur, but you only see it when you place down and stuff.
Well,
It's not like a traditional like vignette.
I
So
turned off the vignette, but I still saw the teddy's vignette.
yeah, that I think you can't turn that off. I don't think because the reason that's there is because you can't. We don't want you to be looking behind you because the idea is that you're a teddy that's fixed, like
Mm-hmm.
you can't move
Yeah.
with that Sophie. So you can't obviously if you were a teddy, you couldn't literally turn around and like spin your head all the way around. I mean, I guess you could because you're a teddy, but the idea is that you're only restricted to the view of what Teddy could see if he was placed, rather
Mm-hmm.
than being moved around. So that's why we did that.
And this game took me 4 hours. So that's really the only thing I didn't like about it was that I would like it to be longer.
Yeah,
I
it's
did have
fair.
some mild performance issues, but I wasn't sure if that was Virtual Desktop's fault. It was weird. So like
Performance, yeah.
if I brought up the virtual
Go
desktop
on.
menu, like sometimes it would cause performance issues, and if it went away, the performance would go back to normal. It was weird, but it was something that I haven't really noticed with other games usually. So did you have any performance issues?
And to be honest, no.
Okay.
And I'm playing on a 3080. I mean, it's not like perfect performance, and performance is the main thing that we're working on because the game we launched it into early access because the game's not really finished. Like we had to contractually release it with at the same time as the flat game, so we were on limited. Like we only had like 2-3 months to work on this.
It doesn't feel
It was
early
very small.
access at all to me.
No, I mean the one thing I will say is that the game is basically finished. Like it's
Yeah.
polished. I mean, I worked on this game as I'm QA, so if something releases, it's going to be polished because I'm working on it and I'm great at my job. But this is a very polished, finished game, full game. The main thing that we're working on is there's a few tweaks here and there we're doing, but mostly it's performance, which is performance, and we're going to be bringing it to the PSVR 2 and hopefully the Quest as well.
Are you gonna have to dumb it down, the graphics, a lot?
We are going to be changing things. I think we're going to be baking some lighting in and stuff over. Like we're going to try and keep as much because a lot of this game, like the lighting in this game, is really good and it adds to the atmosphere. And like there are sections where there are like dynamic lights and shadows and things that we think are really important to the game. So we're going to try and keep as much of that in as we can. But the Quest version is definitely going to have to get stripped. A lot of that's going to get stripped out, unfortunately. That's just unfortunate reality of the Quest. This game was never built for VR in the first place. We've converted it, so it's not been built with performance in mind.
Yeah. So this game, I like the gameplay in this game actually a lot more than the Midnight Walk's gameplay. I don't know if you agree. So the Midnight Walk,
I mean, there's more gameplay.
Yeah, it's more, and the puzzles are way more interesting.
Yeah.
The Midnight Walk is a lot of just kind of like walking around and just kind of enjoying the atmosphere and the artwork, whereas this is more of a straight up game.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
So I personally prefer this game over the Midnight Walk. And
you're entitled to your opinion.
You might not agree, even though you're biased.
No, I don't agree, but that's fine.
Yeah. Even though you worked on this game, you prefer the Midnight Walk. That's what I figured after hearing. Yeah. You think the Midnight Walk is like maybe game of the year.
I mean, to be fair, the way you have to understand is when I play this game, I'm playing this game as a tester. And I'm literally replaying it over and over. I've played through this game. I've got like 20-something hours into this game, and it's a 4-hour game. So, I've played through this game multiple times. So that definitely taints. Like I didn't sit down in this game. I didn't just play through the game start to finish. Originally, I'd played it. I'd find a game-breaking bug or something wrong, and then I'd have to wait for that to get fixed. And then it's just not the same thing for me. So it's really hard for me to look at this game and say, as a player, this is how I feel about it because I'm not really playing it as a player. I'm playing it as a tester.
And you're sick of it by now. Yeah.
I'm not sick of it. I like this game. I think it's a good game.
Did you notice those performance issues in this video while you were talking?
No. Is this your recording, is it?
No, it's somebody else's recording. But they were having performance issues at the same, like in some places that, so in these, probably because it's loading like the next area, in these little, I don't know, what are these, air ducts? I don't know what they are.
Tunnels, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I would get performance issues like what's happening right now on screen.
Oh, yes. I can see that, yeah. I've not had that, though. That's weird.
Oh, I heard other people report it, too, on Recentered's Discord.
Are they all playing with virtual desktop?
Yeah, we're all playing with virtual desktop, so it could be that. And like when this person lands, I think they're going to have some, see that.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad.
But then once they start moving around in the room, it's okay. But I experienced stuff
Right.
like that when I played.
Well, hopefully, because we're switching over from deferred rendering to forward rendering, which is like a big difference for VR. We can run like MSAA anti-aliasing, and we can. The main problem with that is that you can't have loads and loads of dynamic lights, which the game does have, but that's like a massive performance problem for VR. So I think thing was going to be once we've got everything set up with the performance optimizations, hopefully this won't happen, even with virtual desktop.
Okay.
But if it does happen, I mean, I'll have to make sure I test it with the virtual desktop as well, if that's definitely causing problems for people.
One thing I didn't like, I felt like the ending was kind of anticlimactic. I'm not going to say what happened, or I barely even remember, but
Okay.
I felt like I kind of felt like that's it. I wanted there to be more there.
Yeah. I think they've got plans for DLC, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, and it's not like you can add more to the ending because it's based on another like the flat game.
Oh, we can't do anything. No, the content
Yeah.
of the game is nothing we can do. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't work on the content. We just worked literally on bringing it to VR and polishing it, making sure there's no bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the fact that there's no real kind of like motion control interaction?
I didn't care.
Okay. Because that was my big worry, was that this game was going to release and people were going to, oh, this is not VR because you don't use your motion controls to do everything. And surprisingly, that's not really come up that much. So
because it's flat to VR, everyone should go in expecting that it's not going to be, that VRified.
Yeah, I mean, we are trying to, like, other games like obviously RoboQuest and Trombone Champ and stuff are definitely, going to feel more like native VR.
Yeah.
This game was more like a quicker port than like a full, because like RoboQuest's going to be a multi-year thing. Like, we've started working on this a long time ago, whereas this was literally a few months. But we are going to be doing a mixture of ports. Like, some games will have proper VR like controls and everything, and some games, if they don't make sense and they're more like a quick port of a game that people want to play, but it doesn't really fit doing lots of because this game doesn't really need much VR motion controls. I think it plays fine as it is.
Yeah,
so.
I'm trying to think of how you could even add motion controls, because the first person view of the teddy bear, well, a teddy bear is not moving its arms unless it's a magic. Like, I guess it is a magical teddy bear.
I mean, you can move your arms actually.
Yeah, but
if you look at your arms and move the controls,
you can't do anything with them, right?
No, you can just wiggle them.
I mean, I guess it would probably be hard to control, but you could make it so that you can control the girl's arms in third person, like with your arms. But
we thought about that.
That would be weird.
It would be really sick. It would be sickness inducing, because you're like, effectively, we thought about making it so that you're carrying the teddy, so that as you move your arms, that would move the teddy around, but that would feel horrible because you're basically moving the camera around with your arms. So.
Oh, I meant put Teddy down, and then when the girl's moving around, like in third person, you can move her arms, like that.
Oh yeah, it would probably look really janky though, because unless you can get some really good inverse kinetics. Like, because imagine if you're sat down in a chair, and you just got your arms resting on you, then she's literally walking around with just her arms just like in this weird, like T-Rex position or something. It would look really stupid.
Yeah. I can't think of any reason why she would need to move her arms like that, because the game is designed where you just you push a button, and then she.
I mean, we thought about maybe like doing like gestures. So like, when you're picking Teddy up or putting Teddy down, you would literally reach out in your real arms to like pick him up, or like reach out and then drop him. There was talk about that, but we don't really feel it's worth doing that for this game.
Yeah.
And the reception's been overall like positive. Like we've had very little people say this needs motion controls, so there's not really much reason to do it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about Out of Sight? Is this the first game with your name in it?
No, Trombone Champs.
Oh, Trombone Champ.
I'm in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will never see the credits of that.
You don't. I mean, you don't have to finish that game. You literally just go into the menus.
Oh, okay.
And you can literally just look at like the credits there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go.
There's no credits roll in that game. Like
there's no you beat enough levels and then you beat the game type of thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can beat the game. Like there is an actual ending where you've done everything, like to finish the campaign.
Oh, so there's an ending.
But we don't like roll credits. There's a way to actually finish. Like, there's a final boss in the game. Like if you do everything, there's a final boss that you unlock. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go to the next game? Oh wait, I have a key that you provided for Out of Sight VR. Out of Sight VR on Steam.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say it. I didn't make a card for it or whatever. 0RW28 E49 BQ IMW38. So hopefully, if you get the key, let us know. Like in a YouTube comment.
Have to.
What'd you say?
Get a pen and paper and rewind, and you'll have to write it down or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll go to the next game, which is Pools VR, and you beat this, I think.
Yeah, I've finished 2 games. Can you believe that?
It's amazing.
I mean, technically 3 because I've finished Out of
Sight
VR as well.
Yeah. Sometimes I give him shit for not finishing games, but his job is playing VR games. So when he has free time, he probably doesn't feel like playing more VR games.
Sometimes I'm getting more back into like playing them more. Like I've been playing a lot more this last month.
Yeah.
I love VR. Like even after all this time, I still love playing VR games. So
yeah. So I made it like 30 minutes in this, and I was kind of getting bored. But I got to a part where I was like, "Whoa, this looks cool," and I quit there. I said to myself, "Well, maybe I'll start a video at this part." It was the part where it reminded me of Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye. I don't know if you did the Echoes of the Eye DLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't do it, but I saw some of it.
Do you know the part in this I'm talking about that reminded me of that?
What, where you walk on the walls?
Yeah, where you like walk on the wall, it curves and you walk on the wall. I was like, oh, this is cool. So then I decided,
yeah, that's cool.
That's the last place I got to. Does it get a lot more interesting?
Yeah, I think so. So. It gets more and more strange. This game's like it's down as like a psychological horror where so there's no like jump scares, there's no monster chasing you or anything like that. It's just more like about atmosphere, and you're going through what's it called, like subliminal spaces? Is that the name for it? I can't remember.
I looked it up.
There's a name for this type of game.
Yeah, liminal spaces, and I looked it up, and I was perplexed as to how this is scary to people because it isn't scary at all to me. But apparently some people are scared of big open spaces and like shit like hotel hallways, which completely baffles me. Like, how is that scary?
I will say that I've got a fear of like deep kind of holes, like where I'm not sure where it's going, sort of thing. Not. This game didn't scare me. Like I played through the entire thing, but there were definitely moments where it kind of like made me feel a bit. Ooh, this makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like if I'm walking somewhere, like there's a section where you walk through like shallow, kind of waist high water. And if you look down, there are sections where like there's massive holes that you can fall into that are in the water, and it's like black, you can't see. And it was like sections like that which like made me feel like I don't really want to fall down there. But then there were sections where you're literally jumping into a black hole. Yeah. And I was fine with it. So
I was throwing myself in every hole I found.
Oh yeah, that's something just typical Justin.
Yeah, that's just how I
You
live my
see, any
life.
hole's a goal.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the levels later. Um, there's one level that I kind of almost made me stop playing it
Here's a giant
because I
hole.
think it was chapter.
Here's a giant
Yeah,
hole in the
there you go.
video. Yeah.
That is a big hole.
Yeah.
There's lots of holes. Look at all them holes on that wall.
I know.
There's holes everywhere.
Yeah.
Holes in different area codes.
I was in a hole earlier today. Never mind though.
A hole of despair. What do you think about like riding the because the game's set in like a swimming pool environment initially, like it changes up later on, but there are actual water chutes or whatever you call them. What do you call them?
Water slide.
Water slides, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were cool. You like to get in some and like you ride them down and
Yeah,
cool.
but I was kind of like, well, what's the point of these things? Are they just there for looks?
Yeah.
Yeah, like is there
I think
more? So you easily get lost in this thing, and like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? I guess.
Yeah,
The
it's
the
kind
only
of
way,
maze-like in a way.
yes, very maze-like. The only way you know is if, I see something different. Good. I guess I'll keep going that way.
Yeah, I do think they do a good job with the design of the levels where mostly, even though you are obviously just wandering around, you know where you are, like you know that, oh, I've been here before, because even though like in the early levels especially everything looks kind of similar, just the general shape of the rooms and stuff are different enough to make you know where you have and haven't been.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you are obviously wandering around, it's like when you're wandering around and you'll find somewhere, oh, actually I've not been down here, and then like leads you to a new section where you can carry on.
Yeah.
But there is one level which I just got stuck on. I had to literally look up how to get out of it because I just couldn't figure out where to go, and that was just like I'm really getting. And then the design of the level like was really boring. Like it wasn't very interesting. Which I think it was chapter 4 maybe.
I think I'm on 3.
But yeah, you're probably on 3 because when you walk up the walls, that's like the end part I think of that level.
Okay.
That starts you at chapter 3. Yeah, but once you get past that level, chapter 4, because there's 6 chapters, plus when you've finished and the credits roll, if you go back to the main menu, there's a chapter 0, which is like a prequel of the game sort of thing. And chapter 0 is actually the most interesting chapter. It's quite long as well. It took me a good 30 minutes just to do that one chapter. And it's just like, because you're not just in the same pools environment, I found that most interesting. Like you go outside and there's like big like industrial areas, and then you go inside and there's like, it's really cool. Like as you go through the game, I think if you keep playing, you'll enjoy it more because as you go through, the levels get more and more weird, and the designs get more interesting, trippy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one section where you're walking like through this door, like hallway, and like there's these massive porcelain heads with all these like distorted facial expressions, and like you walk in and you can see them, and they're like all like really massive, like towering above you, like looking at you, and it's really cool being in those environments.
Oh, did you have performance issues?
Yes, I did. The performance is a problem. I had to turn my resolution down a little bit, and it's got DLSS, but for me, when I turned DLSS on, the game became like a slideshow. I could barely get into the menus to turn it back off again. Okay. I ended up just turning off any sort of, because it's got FSR as well, which I personally think makes the game look more blurry, so I turned that off.
Yeah. But, and did you have that?
It looks good.
Did you have that water texture mismatch where it looked different in one eye than the other eye?
I did read about it. I turned the reflections, because it's a bit misleading because it says reflections like high, medium, low, off.
Yeah.
But if you turn them off, you still have reflections. Like it's not like there's no reflections. I think it's using like cube maps or something. I don't know. It's doing something. It's more primitive, but it still looks good. Like you can still see, like if you've got a doorway which is lit up, you can still see that reflected back on the water in front. So it's not like turning reflections off makes the game look shit.
Yeah, when it first came out, if you had the reflections on at all, Yeah, the water looked really bad. I was pissed off. I was like, this is a fucking game about water, and you can't get the water right. And this game has been in like VR beta for a long time. I was like, how the fuck do you not get this right when there's water everywhere? Then somebody in the Steam discussion said you got to turn the reflections off. Then they did an update where by default, I think they just turn the reflections off if you're in
Right.
VR. So now it doesn't look stupid. But I think they're intending to update it so that the water will look better in VR. I don't know how long
I
that's
mean, I
gonna
tried
take.
reflections on, and to me it looked fine. But the problem was that the performance was really bad.
Well,
So
then maybe that was
even
after
if they
the.
fixed the,
Okay, so I
yeah,
think I think even if you're in VR, if you put reflections on after that update, I think it you it's still they'll still be
oh, they
off.
disabled them.
They're just yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
it's disabled. And
Maybe that was placebo then. I don't
like
know.
cuz I tried it the first day this came out and it looked terrible. You know, if you look in like for
Right.
example, if you look in your right eye, you versus your left eye, like the water looks completely different. So when you're looking through both eyes,
Right.
it's just really annoying to look at. And I tried it after the update, and like turning the reflections on or off made no difference. So yeah, I think they
Oh,
just
okay.
they just disabled it.
It just felt like performance to me dropped a lot, but maybe that was just placebo then.
I don't know.
I don't know. Either way,
Uh,
performance is like on the edge of playable anyway. So I think if they did turn like the fancy reflections on, I probably wouldn't be able to play it with them on anyway. So I wouldn't let that put you off
yeah.
personally. Like I say, I think it still looks great with them as it is now. Like because everything's reflective. Like all the tiles is like got reflective. The water. It's a very very shiny game.
Yeah.
But it still looks good even with the reflections off. So
Yeah.
I don't.
Someone in the Steam
It's not
discussion
bad.
said on the flat version, when you get out of the water, there's this like dripping water effect on your face, and he said he wanted to see that back in the VR version. I think they said they intend to add that.
Okay, I'm not
Um,
sure whether I'd want that or not. I mean,
yeah.
there's you can see if you look down at the floor, you can actually see like footsteps for a while. Like if you come out of water, you can see like
Oh, really?
watermarks as you're walking around. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
quite a cool little touch.
I read that it's a 2 hour game. Is that how long it took you?
About 2.5 because of Chapter Zero.
Oh, that's
Chapter
including.
Zero adds an
Okay.
extra 30
All right.
minutes.
All right.
It's not a very long game, but it's a cheap game anyway. And
Yeah, it
it's not going to
was.
be for everyone because it's a walking simulator. There's nothing to do other than walk around. Like
Yep.
there's no gameplay.
Yeah. Uh, I guess that's it for pools.
Yeah, I
You
enjoyed
know,
it. I'll be curious to see if you play more and if you feel like it's a good game or not.
I'll probably do a video, but it sounds like chapter 4 is boring. So that my video would end up being chapter 4, unless I just kept going and did the whole thing and then did chapter 0. I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely show. Chapter 4 is the worst,
Hmm.
least enjoyable. So chapter 5 onwards. In fact, oh no, because the end of chapter 4 is where you get the massive heads. Oh.
No, whatever.
Maybe the tip I'll give you on that one is look for Steam
Okay.
because I didn't realize there's a mechanic in that which I didn't realize. And once I watched the video, I was like, "Oh, how the hell am I supposed to know that?" And then I realized at the beginning of the level it shows you something, and I
Uh,
wasn't paying attention to it probably. And then it's like if you understand that, then you probably get through the level pretty quickly.
okay. All right, so we'll go to Surviving Mars Pioneer. I talked
Yeah,
about this last time, and I have
yeah.
put 23 hours into this game. Um,
Wow,
so that's how long it took me to
that's a
beat it.
lot.
Yeah, and that's 122 in-game days, or they call it sols or souls. Um, this so far is my game of the year, and
Really?
and
Okay.
you've been a tester of this game too. So
Yeah,
you just keep coming out with great games.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
wait till you see play RoboQuest because I think
Oh,
RoboQuest personally, I think that's the best game we've got in the works. So.
wow. So when you first start this, you'll be bothered by the interactions like we talked about last time. You have laser pointers sticking out of your hands, but they just came out with a patch that I haven't tried, and I don't know if you have, where they improved VR
Yeah, I've
interactions.
been testing it.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
have.
I've been
So can you talk
I've
about
been
that?
I've been testing it. Yeah, I mean, because I mentioned last time, but like we didn't make this game. This is made by Bulwark Studios, who has made Genotype. Um, Geotype is it? Whatever it is.
Yeah, genotype.
But we got involved in the publishing side, and then we helped them with some of the development side. But I don't know how much more we're going to be doing the development side. I think mostly they're going to be doing the rest of it. But we helped them like get it ready for launch, and we've been doing some. We basically gave them the feedback that everyone who's played this game has been given the same feedback. Like we all said the same things to them about the interactions. Everyone I've heard talk about this game, you people in Recentered, everybody has said the same thing. The interactions feel weird. They don't feel intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like it feels like a laser pointer show where you literally just point and click at everything. So we've basically added a new update, which has now got more interactions. So if you walk up to a touch screen where you originally had to stand back and use the laser pointers, now you can literally use your fingers and press on stuff. So you can literally walk up and press on the stuff on the screen, and it works like a touch screen, and you can craft things and whatever.
Yeah, unlike this video.
Can,
this video is prior to that update.
Yeah. So this is what it was like before. You were literally walking around with two laser pointers constantly stuck out of your hand. Even though you couldn't really use the left laser pointer for much, it was still there all the time. Usually, literally like pointing and using a mouse cursor to click on stuff on a screen. It was just, that's a large part of the game. The laser pointers now disappear. Like if you're not using something. It's like before, even if you were outside, you still got laser pointers coming out of your hands. It was just really annoying. Like now, like in the video. So now the laser pointers go, like they won't be there all the time. The big thing as well is the backpack. Like before you had the inventory where you had to press a button and move your hand up, the whole swipe thing that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Now you can literally just reach over your shoulder, press the grip button, bring the backpack out in front of you and let it go. Just like in any, Saints and Sinners and all that sort of stuff.
Nice.
You can obviously then put it away by just grabbing the handle and putting it back over your shoulder and letting go, and that works as well.
Nice.
You can physically grab things, like if you want to grab things in your inventory, you don't have to now hold, your hand back with the laser pointer. You can literally just reach in and grab it, and then like do whatever you want with it. You can store things by literally grabbing things and then putting them over your shoulder and letting go, and it now just goes into your backpack. And it's basically just much more in line with what you would expect from this sort of game with this backpack type system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main thing. We've added there's been a bunch of bug fixes and stuff. Some there's all the difficulty modes now, so you can select like a story mode, which is easier, or like a harder mode, which is gonna use more oxygen, and we also have custom options now, so you can pause the game, go into the options, and if you don't want to have to eat all the time, or you want to reduce the amount of times you have to eat, you can just tweak that down, and just customize it a bit more to your own taste.
Yeah, eating was something that was annoying me for a while because you had to eat often. But then I finally I read a pro tip from someone where they said, "Well, if you're at the landing zone, just don't eat. You don't need to because you'll just respawn. So it doesn't matter if you die."
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So that's what I did. I just kept letting myself die because you spend a ton of time in the landing zone messing with your machines and crafting and launching your rocket, all sorts. That's where you're going to spend most of your time. Oh, and also at the little research center. So yeah, just let yourself die, and you'll respawn with like 70% health, I think, or 70% like hunger. So I the only thing is like
just turn it down. Now you can do that.
Say it again.
No, or you could just turn it down now. Like
now you can make it so that you don't have to feed yourself as much.
Yeah, or off. You can do it off completely if you want to.
Okay. So has the radiation like the radiation issue that I had. So there, you can get a radiation suit upgrade because there's radiation in this game that can kill you. And I got the radiation suit upgrade, and then radiation was still killing me. But I'm not sure if that's intended or if that's a bug. Have you guys figured that out yet?
I honestly don't know. I did talk to the developers about it because a couple of people told me this,
Yeah.
and they said that they patched it so that that was supposed to be fixed. But then
Okay.
you're saying it's still doing it,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if it is intended to like. I can't really like. Sometimes I message developers and I don't always get like a clear answer on things, so
Mm-hmm.
I can't say 100% certain how it's supposed to act. But I've told them about it a couple of times, so
Okay.
hopefully, if it isn't supposed to do that, hopefully they fix it.
So a big difference, between this podcast and the last one is I got the hover bike and I got a rover. So I can get places much faster. There are like I think like 11 different areas that you can explore. Like different little I don't know what they're called. Do you know the word for them? Different um
I don't know what is the official thing, like biomes. I guess not. They're not
yeah.
biomes, but they're just little. It's a limitation of the quest. Basically, we can't do like a full open world like Subnautica or something. So
Mm-hmm.
it's segmented into these little squares.
Yeah.
Like so, you've got these little squares, and you can travel through like these portals that then load up another area. Basically.
Yeah, and to get to them, you don't have to use a bike or a rover, but it helps. So with the bike, you can move much faster, and you have levers on the bike where two levers, and that's how you push both levers forward, and you go forward fast. Pull them back, and you can go backward or slow down, and then it's kind of like tank controls. You put put the right
Yeah.
lever forward and the left lever back, and you'll turn to the left, and the opposite you'll turn to the
Yeah.
right. It's very intuitive, easy to control. With the hover bike is cool because it can just like you can fucking go over mountains and shit. I mean, it'll hover over tons of terrain. Whereas the rover is slower. It has the same lever controls, but the rover is slower. But the advantage of the rover is you can breathe air in it. So and you can also feed yourself inside the rover. Whereas like on the bike, or if you're just outside on Mars' surface, you can't feed yourself because to do so you'd have to take your helmet off and then you'll die. But inside the rover, you have air and you can eat, and there's storage. You can store stuff in the rover, whereas the bike you can't. But one problem with the rover is it's much harder to control, and it gets stuck. I got stuck a lot. I don't know if you've tested the rover and had the same problems.
Not as much. Most of my time has been on the hover bike, just
Okay.
because it's so much faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do need to test more on the rover. I think you don't you have to have like an insane amount of power
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
cells for that.
You have to make power cells to power the bike and the rover, and the power cell on a bike lasts longer. I think it lasts like 10 minutes, whereas the rover it lasts 7 minutes. So
Yeah.
you will need more power cells. Like whenever I go out on the rover, I'll have like 4, maybe 5 power cells on me just in case. But I preferred the rover because I didn't have to worry about oxygen and food anymore. Like I didn't have to worry about
Yeah.
bringing all this extra oxygen and worrying about like I'm not going to be able to eat because I'm not going to have like there are some man-made structures where there is life support where you can breathe, and you could also like that means you could eat in there. But usually most of those little biomes there aren't. So you would need the rover to eat, or you just have to go all the way back to the landing zone to your little habitat to eat. So I found all sorts of different minerals, new minerals and things, and alien structures. I don't know if I'm saying too much. I might be saying too much. But if you like Subnautica, you're gonna like this game, and it's a lot like Subnautica. Like Subnautica, you have that handheld thing that'll pull you through the water faster. I can't remember what it's called, but that's kind of like the
Yeah.
bike, and then the rover is kind of like a sea moth. I would say in Subnautica. Um, and because you can breathe in it, the sea moth. But
Yeah,
just like Subnautica, you're gonna find some weird alien structures, and they're gonna be kind of mysterious, and you have to figure out what the hell does this thing do. And it's really cool. I was playing it every day. You know, once I put my kid to sleep,
that's good.
I wanted to get in this game and figure it out.
Good.
Oh yeah, in each biome, there's this radio tower or radio jammer or whatever. So in each one, you have to disable the tower, and so you have to find a key. Well, to find the key, you have to find a drone in each like biome, and a lot of times they're hidden. You just have to keep exploring. You're gonna explore caves. You're gonna I don't know, just go all over the place, and it's really fun if you're into these grindy type of games. If you're not into a grind, there's a lot of grinding in this game. A lot of going out and just collecting minerals and collecting ice, and you know that might be boring for some people. I don't think, even though you're testing it, I don't think this is really your type of game, is it?
No, but
Yeah.
I will say that I mean, I've literally started really getting into it a bit more now because I think one of the things with this game is that it is really grindy early on. Like
Yeah.
a lot of what you have this little landing zone area, and you have to spend a lot of time. Like it gives you like little missions, and you have to spend a lot of time like make this station, which means going out, getting resources. You know, you get these little rocket missions. So you have to like get resources to send a rocket mission off, so you can get money to get currency to buy blueprints, which you can then use to craft things.
Yeah.
So there's like this whole loop, which is a very grindy loop.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, to me personally, I found it a bit too grindy early on, to the point where it was like I wanted to see more interesting stuff earlier in the game. Once you get the bike and you open up like new areas, that's when it, to me, is like, okay, this is actually really like I'm hooked now. I want to play more of it.
Yeah.
So I've been playing. I mean, I've been obviously testing a lot, but when I test, like, I'm not always necessarily just playing the game. I'm like testing for bugs, that the specific things. And in fact, you sent me your save file, which has been really helpful for me. So like, I've got access to like all the end game content and everything, and I'm literally in your little base, and I'm like looking at how you set things up.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
Lee from recently sent me his save file as well. So I've got like two different end game save files.
Whose is better?
Oh, I'm not gonna say. He's got like what this room. I don't even know. Like he's set up this one massive habitat. Like it's huge.
Oh, yeah?
It's like a massive area. Whereas you've set up you've just strung together a few smaller ones and stuff. So
yeah, I threw like
yours feels more homely.
Wait, which one's more homey?
Yours.
Oh, okay. You said homely,
and you've got like a little homely, yeah.
Well, homely usually that's the word used to describe an ugly woman. Homely.
Is it?
Yeah, homey without the L is like how you describe a home that is like nice to live in.
I thought a homie was like a guy. Hey, homie.
Yeah, that's a different spelling. Yeah, like Homie the Clown. Do you know who Homie the Clown is?
No.
That's from a show called In Living Color from when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Carrey was in it. Damon Wayans, all those people. I don't know if you guys don't know about that stuff.
No,
I guess
I've never seen it.
Okay. One big problem with this game is there's no ending. So you got to fix that.
No, it's not finished.
Yeah. You finish all the missions and then that's that.
Yeah. It's not a finished game. Not like unlike Out of Sight VR, which is literally a finished game. We're just polishing some last bits up. This is literally not a finished game. It's early access.
Yeah.
All the content is not all there yet.
Yeah.
So you can't literally finish the game. But I mean, I think this game suits that type of content because then you can play like all of the stuff, and then when big updates come with new content, you can jump back in and kind of like see more of the game.
Hopefully, once they finish it, it's not like, oh, well, now you're gonna have to start a new save because these old saves won't work.
Yeah, I always find it curious with that. Like, because they have to build the content, but if they are they going to like expect people to wipe their saves at a certain point? I don't know how it works with that sort of stuff. It's interesting because I don't think they're planning on doing that. I think they're going to try and make it so that it's just more stuff for you to do based on your current save. Maybe new areas. They'll probably add more areas to the maps for you to explore new missions, new stuff.
There were some things on the launch pad, some of these contracts where it was like, find this missing satellite, or find these military plans, and they're worth a lot of money. And I don't have any clue where those are, and I don't know if you know anything about that.
No, I don't know.
Okay,
I know there were a couple of that contracts which were bugged, which have now been fixed, so they now work. But not they were just like general contracts. They weren't actually these specific ones where you find.
Okay.
Because I know, like Lee from Recented, he's literally done all the contracts, so he must have found all this stuff.
Oh, you can run out of
contracts left to do.
Oh, you can run out of contracts on the launchpad.
Yeah, you can literally do every contract that is in the game and then have nothing left.
Because it seemed like they just keep regenerating. I guess not.
Well, when I went to his rocket thing, there was literally nothing there. It was blank. So I assumed that he'd just done all the contracts.
Okay. All right. You want to go to the next thing?
Yeah.
All right. The next is Of Lies and Rain demo. We both played this. It's a free demo on Steam. There's a Steam Next Fest going on right now, and there's 30 VR demos, and this is one of them. So go check those out. Do you want to talk first? Or
yeah, I can talk. I think this one I've seen quite a few posts about this game on Reddit where they've like put clips up showing some combat and stuff, and it's always looked kind of interesting to me. Just like the art style, the combat looked interesting. So I went into this thinking it could be good, and I was kind of disappointed, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a bad game, and I know it's been made by a really small studio with like 5 developers or something. I think they've decided to go for like, because I've seen some people criticize this game, and the developers have said like the game's quite slow paced and it's like designed to be a narrative driven game, and I think that's a mistake because for a narrative driven game to work, the game has to be like really captivating. Like the environments, the graphics need to be like really good. There just needs to be something that's really bringing you forward and making you feel like you want to keep playing it. And I don't think this game's got that for me, based on what I played. Like I played like games. The demo is quite generous. It's like 45 minutes long or something. It's quite a long demo.
Yeah, it was long.
And during that period, you barely have any like proper combat. Like there's these spider things that are crawling at you, but they're really easy to kill. There's some things that are like stuck in the walls, like this one that shoots out lasers, which I think you're supposed to like duck underneath, but you can just kill them with a couple of shots.
It took me a while to realize that I could kill those things. I thought they were just kind of like permanent structures, but no, you can just hit them.
I mean, personally, I would have made them like that. I would have made them more like an obstacle that you have to avoid, like maybe physically ducking around them and stuff. I think that would have made them more interesting. But you can literally just shoot them a couple of times and they die, so it's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point in them being there if you can just shoot them?
Yeah.
Kind of pointless. I think one of the big problems as well is like, I know it's being made by a small studio, 5 people, but it just doesn't look that interesting to me. I just think it's very Half-Life Alyx. Like the controls are like very Half-Life Alyx, which I haven't got no problem with. It's a good template to work from. It's like you've got like gravity glove where you like grab things from a distance, although you use grip instead of trigger to flick, which initially felt odd because I'm so used to like, using trigger to like aim and then flick and then you grab it with your grip. With this, you kind of flick it with the grip and then grab with the grip, which it works fine once you get used to it.
I felt like the things flying in the air, they didn't go high enough. Like a lot of times I was having to reach like down to grab the things.
Yeah, like with Half-Life Alyx, they have it where it literally goes to your hand. Even if you move your hand, it's like magnetized to your hand.
Yeah.
Whereas this doesn't do that. You have to like catch it, which I guess is part of the thing. But it just feels like it makes it feel like a little bit like owning polish in areas. There's also like the lighting is not great in sections. Like it's like you're going down a corridor and like it's a really long straight corridor, but there's only one spotlight in the middle of the corridor, like halfway along. But yet somehow the entire corridor is like evenly lit perfectly, even though there should be like obviously the above the spotlight should be dark, and then there should be shadows and it should cascade out. and that's not even a performance thing, because you can do that with baked lighting. You can just you can make a scene, bake lighting, and it will bake all the lights into the textures, and it'll look good. It won't be dynamic lights; you'll not see shadows and stuff, but it'll look like good. I mean, that's just how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like they've maybe just not baked the light properly. Maybe they're just trying to rely on dynamic shadows, but you can't rely on dynamic shadows in VR, because if you add too many light sources and shadows, it makes performance really bad. There's a section where you walk into like a room and it's a really dark room, but then there's like this like bunk bed which is really bright and looks completely out of place. There's just lots of little things like that which makes it feel unpolished. Textures feel a bit like weird, like how they overlap each other sometimes.
Speaking of textures, did you notice texture mismatches? That's kind of like a big pet peeve for me. And as soon as I started the game, I saw like rock textures that didn't look the same in my right and left eye.
I didn't notice that actually. No.
That's like something that for some reason always really bothers me. Remember I brought it up in pools too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game starts up on the default setting is like epic or something, which I've never understood why you would do that.
Yeah.
So maybe like if you turn some stuff down, it fixes that. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I left it on epic, but I did. Yeah, there were some like performance issues as a result.
Yeah, you can turn DLSS on, which in this game worked, and it actually did help with performance.
Yeah,
so it's worth putting that on.
Yeah, this is definitely a budget Half-Life Alyx, and it's kind of Matrix inspired, with all these like robots flying around that want to kill you. And
it does feel Matrix. Like the Matrix. What do they call the
Sentinels? Sentinels, right? Is that what?
Yeah, it's like when you're actually not in the Matrix, when you're in like the real world. Like all the sort of bionic, creatures look very similar, I guess, to this.
And then what you're seeing on screen right now is kind of these weird in between, I don't know, cyber worlds where you shoot at these.
I hated this.
Yeah, it's not good at all. The
shooting feels terrible.
Yeah,
it's just not fun.
And you're bouncing around really strangely. It's really weird to control.
It bugged out for me as well. I didn't get like there's like a gravity gun thing where you can like fly up into the air. I didn't get that, so I couldn't finish the tutorial. I had to reload the tutorial. But like the projectiles fire out and they're really slow. And like you're trying to hit these like floating out. It's just not interesting at all. Like I thought it was like a tutorial that was teaching you controls, but what they teach you in this just doesn't translate at all to anything related to the real game.
Mm-hmm.
I think like, do you remember what's that game where you have to like hack and then you go into like this? Is it Stride or something?
Yeah.
And they have like those hack. It kind of reminds me a bit of that.
I
didn't find them fun either. So.
No. Like maybe making this type of level is much easier for a developer versus making like an actual world that you're walking through, and
you're on like a floating island almost, so it's definitely easier to make.
So it's just like a way to kill time,
maybe
for the game length or something. Pad the game.
It's just not fun though.
Yeah. And speaking of Alyx, you go around and you're collecting what they call GPUs. They're little squares, and that acts as resin. You use the GPUs, and then you can use those to get like weapon upgrades and stuff. I got like a handgun, and then I got a shotgun, and then I think about after the shotgun, I think the demo ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guns felt okay, but they're not like anything special.
Yeah.
Another thing, like they copied. It's this little detail, like they copied Alex, but then they didn't fully copy them. Like, for example, to get a gun, it's the same as Alex, where you hold a button, and you move your hand like in which direction to get the gun.
Mm-hmm.
But then in Alex, if you want to like get rid of the gun, you press a button just to get rid of it, and then if you want to go back to the previous gun, you just press the button again, and it just respawns that. So I was doing that, thinking that I want to get this, I want to get the gun back out. I just press the button, and then it doesn't work. I've got to then press and hold and move my hand back up again. It was just little things like that, which if you're going to copy Alex, just copy it. Just copy it. There's a reason they did everything they did, because they did play tests. Like they play tests so much, and they got feedback from people. So just copy. If you're going to copy them, just copy them. Like do it exactly the same. What's the point in like having these little variations? Because then I've got all this muscle memory from playing Half-Life Alyx, but things are slightly different, which then makes it feel like I'm struggling a little bit, which is not good.
Yeah. Well, at least you can pick up lots of stuff, like these knives, for no reason.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it just to me, I think I personally feel like they've gone in the wrong direction. I think they've tried to build this like really cool, interesting, narrative-driven, slower-paced Half-Life Alyx inspired game, and they just haven't got the budget or the skills to do it. Mm-hmm. And they would have been way, way better off just focusing on making it a more combat-focused game, and focusing on making the combat really solid, and just having you go through like a bit like a Doom game where you go through like an area, you've got a set number of enemies that you've got to kill, and then you'll have a little bit of intersection where you're going from like traversal climbing or whatever, and then you get to another section where you're shooting. Because there is a section where there's some climbing in this game, which feels fine.
The cubes.
There's one thing I did like. Yeah, you have to grab these cubes, but there's like you're not just all climbing up. Sometimes you'll have like a tunnel that you've got to go through, but to get through it, you're kind of like climbing your way through it, which I thought was actually quite cool. I thought that was worked quite well.
Yeah, I was really surprised. So like pleasantly surprised by that part. Yeah,
they were cool. Yeah, I've not seen anything like that with VR. Everyone who just climbing, it's always up. Yeah. But this is almost like you're climbing your way forwards.
Yeah, horizontally.
So you're like climbing. Yeah, it was actually quite cool. I think that's a really cool mechanic.
Yeah. So, next game?
Yep.
Or do you have anything else?
No.
All right.
It's fine.
So, this is just a flat video of Doom Eternal. Luke Ross, the infamous modder, came out with a mod that supports Doom Eternal, Doom the Dark Ages, and Death Stranding. And I bought Doom Eternal when it came out, and I never played it. I said to myself, I'm going to wait until a VR mod comes out. Well, it took a long time, but finally a VR mod came out. I mean, you could play it before in that 3D vision stuff, which I tried, and I didn't.
It was like on a screen, though. It was
on a screen, and I didn't like it. So I paid for the Luke Ross mod. My first impression was this is unplayable, because it was just like going back and forth, strafing or turning. I just saw all this reprojection, and I had to experiment with it. And what it was by default, these things are on AER version 2.0. It's alternate eye rendering 2.0. I don't know why that's the default. If I switched it to what it's called half rate, there's half rate and third rate. If I switched it to one of those, it looked much better. So I kind of settled on half rate, where it kind of locks it to like half frame rate. And that made it playable. It was okay. And this is with like ray tracing off. I probably had everything on high, not on like ultra. And it was playable. The thing is, this game, though, this is such a fast-paced game. And this Luke Ross's mods are usually head aim. Doing head aim in a game like this, it's just kind of too much.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying, because you're just looking here, then I'm looking here, then I'm looking over here, then I'm over here, and So
Yeah.
I played for like an hour, and I was like, I could do this. I could play all the way through this game, but I don't think I would enjoy it. So maybe I'll just play this game flat. Maybe I'm just gonna give up on the VR mod.
Yeah, I think the guy who made the Helix mod, who made the original mod, he was making an actual VR mod for it as well. I don't know what. I'm trying to look up what if there's been any updates on it, because he was like trying to make it full VR, and I don't know if he was doing motion controls as well. But I cannot play a game like this. Like I could not play a game like this just head aiming. It would just suck to me.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather play it with a controller and aim with a controller independently than have to use my head to like aim.
Yeah.
It would just drive me nuts.
I also don't want to use a controller like a regular gamepad in this type of game. Like this type of game, I want a mouse.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense.
Either a mouse or let me use a motion. If I had a motion controller, great. I would love to play this somehow. I bet eventually this will get motion controls. Somebody will figure it out. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna wait longer.
Yeah.
And so Death Stranding is also supported by Luke Ross's mod, and that just got a discount on Steam for like $15. So I bought that and I haven't tried it yet. I'm curious because like that's probably a slower paced game. So I wanted to see if that, and it has like a 92% on Steam. So I was like, well, maybe it's good.
Some people love that game.
Yeah,
it's like a UPS simulator where you're just like transporting stuff from across these dangerous landscapes. Basically, I don't know. There's a lot of story as well. I like a lot of cutscenes and shit. So I'm not sure how you're gonna feel about that.
Yeah, that's true. And it's third person, or is it first? I think it's third person, is it?
It's third person, but maybe Luke's put like a first person mod in there because I think he tends to do that with his mods. So.
Okay. So I don't think I have much else to say. I just don't know why the AER 2.0 is the default. It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I pretty much always need to change it to half rate. I was running it at 90 hertz, and I don't know if that's part of the issue. Like, maybe I need to lower the hertz. Like, don't a lot of people do that for flat games? They lower the hertz to 72 or whatever.
I don't know.
All right, so we'll go to the next game. FYR, the Lost Island demo. I have no idea what FYR is.
Fuck your...
I don't know.
I was going to say something really stupid, so I'm not going to say that.
All right.
Fuck your...
rear. Fuck your rear.
I can't think... Fuck your rear.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. So we both... you played through this demo, right? All the way through?
Yeah, I got through it.
Yeah. And to me, this felt like Ghost Town.
I haven't played that, so I can't say.
I played the Quest demo. Oh, there's a PC demo now of Ghost Town that I haven't gotten to try.
Yeah.
So go get that. This has PC VR visuals for sure. This couldn't...
It looks brilliant.
Yeah, it couldn't be done on Quest.
No.
Yeah. When I was looking up at the sky, I could kind of see this like Mura type looking effect. Did you notice that?
I mean, I was playing it in the PSVR too, so maybe I was like...
Yeah.
Oh, this is normal, so I don't know.
That's what I actually thought. I actually thought that when I was playing it. I was like, if he looks up, he's just going to think it's just the PSVR 2 doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It had impressive physics. Like you could grab everything, and I thought the physics was pretty good, but yeah, some of it was a little janky. Like the hand interactions, I think sometimes were a little janky, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It kind of feels almost like it's using some sort of Boneworks framework, like one of these plugins that makes you can. It feels good. I mean, overall, I think this feels like a proper PC VR game. It just feels that sort of quality that we got from a lot of games that where Saints and Sinners and Boneworks and stuff when that came out. It's got that kind of feel of everything's physics based. It's got incredible like light. Everything lit really well, and it looks high quality. When I first started the game, I don't know if you had this. Maybe I had some of my volume too loud. There's like lightning, and it was just like I had to turn my volume down. It's like blowing my ears out. It was so loud.
I didn't notice that, so maybe your volume was just too high.
Yeah, it's just like you stood and it's like in this when you're in the menu, you've got this lighthouse and there's like a storm. There's like lightning coming down. And it looks really impressive, but the lightning was so loud. It was like, whoa, Jesus, that's loud. But other than that, once I got into the game, it's like really impressive. It really impressed me. This game.
Yeah.
I never even heard of this. Like you just put me like in, told me about it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. Really impressive. Like visually, it looks really good. Like the quality, like it just feels quite polished as well. Overall, there's a few, like you say, there's a few jank issues sometimes. Like because sometimes you have to like you're being chased by this like shadow monster, and you have to get into a like these cabinets. Sometimes I'd be like, just open the fucking cabinet. I'm trying to like open the cabinet and fight him with it because of the physics and stuff.
Yeah.
So like when you're under pressure and you're having to like pick and do things, like it was like, oh god, this is actually getting in the way of the gameplay. But when you're just more like slowly walking around, holding your torch, like picking things up, throwing things around, like you can pick up a fish and like it wiggles around like realistically. Yeah, it's really impressive. Like the gameplay is mostly like you just walking around. You get these little orbs, and if you shine your torch on them, there'll be a ghost appear, and it'll say stuff, and like you're revealing parts of the story. And there's also like a dark tone to it, where like there's this shadow monster which I mentioned, which is like trying to kill you, and you've got to kind of like get in. I found that confusing. That's the only thing, because it said to like get to the light, so I'm like, okay, but there's like these red lights in the room on the ceiling. So then I just walked up to one of the red lights thinking, okay, I'm under the light, and then the thing killed me, and I'm like, well, where the fuck am I supposed to go then? Why was that not light? So then I did it like a couple more times and died, and then I realised that you've got to get to this like elevator thing, which is lit up. But
they meant the light bulb in the elevator. Is that what they meant?
Yeah, but there's loads of lights. There's like these red lights everywhere.
So I just ran for it, and I just like luckily I was like, oh, there's something I can grab, and I just pulled it up. I don't even remember hearing the thing about get to the light. I just lucked out. Is all.
Yeah.
So and the game has good voice acting, all the ghost talk, and yeah. I don't remember how it ended. Do you?
I think it just like the lighthouse. There's like this lighthouse thing, and it just kind of like zooms in on you, and then it goes really red, and then the screen just goes black, like, and that's the end of the demo.
Okay.
But it's really cool. I honestly, this has genuinely surprised me, and I'm looking forward to this game now. It's really cool. Like, some people might find it scary because it is more of a horror game. I mean, I didn't personally, but. It's got like a monster. It's kind of like what those Amnesia game type things, I think, where you've got this monster chasing after you. You can't kill it. You can't fight it. You literally have to just run and hide. But that's not like all the game. Like there are moments where you're just walking around and you're safe and you're just exploring, and you have to like find fuel to put into a generator, and then you have to crank the generator to start it.
Yeah.
It's a cool game. I like it a lot.
I heard about this from virtual strangers. Like Wes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Wes and Eric Masher were on there talking about it. So that's how I found out about it. Is he your boss or is Jasmine your boss? Who's your boss?
They're all my boss.
Okay.
Eric, Jasmine, Elliot, and Skeever all founded the company, so they're like the CEOs, I guess.
I saw like a video that came out recently, like about. Maybe it was about RoboQuest, and it said that Jasmine is the CEO. And I was surprised. I thought Eric was the main guy.
They all are, but the CEO, if you like look at their positions, like one's CEO of like I don't know the position. I don't know the titles off the head of my head, but
Eric's the COO. Is what it said.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about all that hierarchy shit, but I just know that they're all like top of the company. They're like the main people that own.
Okay.
The four of them.
Okay.
Eric deals with all the contracts and stuff. Jasmine deals with black people and management. Yeah.
All right. All right. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Pinball FX VR. So a big complaint I had about this was how expensive the DLC tables were. They were like $10, or in Indiana Jones' case, $15 for one table. Well, they came out with these Williams table bundles, so it's much better deal. So there's you can get Medieval Madness, Champion Pub, Attack from Mars, Theater of Magic, Junkyard, Black Rose, Party Zone, Safecracker, and The Getaway. You can get all of those for it was like around $20. So I was like, all right, for that, I will get all these tables. And I played them all. So I used to own a Medieval Madness and a Champion Pub. So those are the two I was most interested in playing and comparing. And I liked it a lot. But one thing I noticed was I felt like the flippers weren't strong enough. I wasn't able to get up the ramps like I was on my real machines. Like, it was a real struggle. And so I sent a ticket into Zen Pinball to tell them about the flipper issue, because then I couldn't find an adjustment for the flipper strength, because a real pinball machine, you can adjust the flipper strength in the menus. But I haven't heard back. I'll be surprised if I get a response. I'll be surprised if they ever fix it. But other than that, I liked it a lot. And not every game had a flipper strength issue. I just noticed it on a few of them. And have you ever played any of these Williams tables? Oh, okay.
No.
All right. This is somebody else's video, not mine. I haven't made a video of this, but yeah. And I looked at the leaderboards. None of my friends had scores to compare to, so I guess people like like Fluke haven't gotten this. I know he has Pinball FX, and they gave him free DLC for the previous tables, but maybe they didn't give it to him for these ones. I don't know. That's it. I recommend this. I know there are lots of pinball people on the VR gaming podcast Discord, because Nick Lane, the guy that started this Discord, he's a huge pinball guy. So just wanted to talk about that. We'll go to your next game. Bunch of nerds. Astro Bot.
Astro Bot. Yeah, I actually... I was at someone's birthday party thing over last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to my brother-in-law. Yeah, brother-in-law. And I was talking to him about VR and stuff. And he was saying I was saying basically that... I can't remember how it came up in conversation, but basically he has a PS VR 1, which was just been sat in their loft, attic, for years. They've not used it. And they were just saying, well, if you want it, you can have it. It's not being used.
Free?
And I was like, yes, please. For free, yeah.
Wow.
And I've already got a PS4 here, because my girlfriend's son has a PS4. He's got PS5 now, but he's got a PS4 that he doesn't use. So basically, for free, I've got a PS1 and a PS4. And also, a while ago, Sony were doing this anniversary thing where they were giving Astro Bot away for free. And I didn't even have a PS5 at the time. I literally claimed it and created an account just for that game.
Oh.
So I actually have Astro Bot, which was also free. So basically, I'm playing Astro Bot on a PS4, on a PSVR, and it didn't cost me a penny, which...
That's amazing.
I'm pretty happy about. Yeah.
Yeah. So how far have you got?
One thing I will say, I did the first chapter, did the first boss.
You fought the monkey, or whatever it is.
The monkey, yeah. My impressions so far are this game's absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite games I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like makes you happy. You play this game and you just feel happy, and
Mm-hmm.
the music's so good. Like there's a section where you go like into these dark areas with like these little mushrooms that light up, and the music in that I was literally singing along to the music. I can't even remember what it was like, but it was just like so good. I love the music in this game. The gameplay is solid. Like just and as soon as you get some attachments for the controllers, because at first obviously it's like it's kind of VR, but it's not VR. Obviously, you're just controlling this little character in front of you.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing about this is over all the other like little platformers that I've played is that they've really paid attention to making it feel like you're involved as the player. Like you're not just controlling this character. Like the way that they design the levels is like they're not just like a narrow path that's everything's directly in front of you. You literally have to like crane your neck sometimes to look around. Like look at everywhere to try and find all these little secret little. You can pick all these Astro Bot characters up and kick them and put them in your controller. And
Yeah.
I've been through and I've been looking really hard for them, and I still haven't managed to find all of them in the levels I've done.
Mm-hmm.
So they do a really good job of hiding them, and to the point where it's like you're having to literally like look around corners. Like you can't just sit there and just like look forward and maybe just move your head left and right slightly. You have to literally like move around in your chair, looking up, looking down. It just makes it feel so much more involving as a player, and I think that's something like some of these other games, like what's that one you were like Max Mustard, and there's another one beginning with V. I can't remember it, but I think that's one thing that they really missed.
Then VR Adventures.
Yeah, that like they just don't. They just felt like more like generic, kind of more generic platformers that just were in VR for the sake of it. And then when you get the like attachments for your controller, even though you're barely doing anything in a way, like you would think that it would feel better if you had like actual controllers where you've got like triggers and everything. It still somehow works so well. Like you get one where you can like fire off a hook, and it draws like a string and a rope, and you can literally just yank your controller back, and it like pulls off, some bricks, which then allows you to continue. Or you can create a rope that Astro Bot can jump on, and then he's like walking along this rope in front of you, and then you can flick your hand up, and now you like send him flying up into the air, so you can collect coins that are a bit out of reach, and there'll be like sections where you're on these little ropes, and then there's these little enemies will come at you, and you're having to like fight enemies on the rope while you're holding the rope, and it just makes it feel so much more involving that it doesn't feel like you're just playing a VR, like a platformer just in VR. It feels like a VR game. And I've only done the first chapter. Like I know there's a lot more to this game as well. The only reason I've stopped playing it at the moment is because I'm playing it on the PS4, not the PS4 Pro, and I am noticing like I think it has like dynamic resolution or something, because I'm noticing like if you look off into the distance, it looks kind of like low resolution, and sometimes it'll like go up a little bit in resolution, but I'm guessing it's just throttling it back because there's not enough power there.
PSVR 1 is only 1080p.
Is it?
Yeah, it's low res.
Yeah, I mean that's the one, because what I realized is I remember that actually you can play, if you get the adapter, like the camera adapter, you can play all the PSVR 1 games with the PS5, and I have a PS5, so I was like, oh, actually, if I just get the adapter, which was £10 on eBay, I can just hook it up to my PS5, and I can play this like with the Pro settings or whatever, and it'll be high resolution and everything. So, so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm waiting for this adapter to turn up to play more.
Okay.
But what I want to know really is, what other games should I play? Like, I will say, I'll just quickly talk about the hardware itself, because obviously this is old tech. Like, no one's going to be buying a PS1. But I was surprised with how it looks. Like, it looks actually better than I expected. This looked, to me, like visually. Yep, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say it's like an RGB stripe OLED.
Yeah.
So yeah, the screen door effect is it's actually a lot better than its competition at the time, Vive and the CV1.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's way better than the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way better than the Rift, which because this is when the Rift was out, and the Rift
Yep.
had a really bad screen door, and the
Yep.
Vive was even worse than that.
Yep.
So this thing, like, actually, like you can see the screen door, but it's not like bad. Like, if you look, you can only really see it mostly if you look at skies and things that are like more of a solid color.
Yeah.
Overall, it looks obviously, other than the resolution, obviously it's not as high as it could be. Like, it looks good.
Yeah.
I was surprised. It doesn't look bad at all. Like, it looks good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
You're making me sad that I
Um,
sold it. Now I'm
are you?
watching this.
Yeah.
Watching this, I want to play Astro Bot again.
Did you get all the little Astros? Did you like finish everything in this game?
I think so. I think I collected
Because
everything.
yeah, I feel like this is one of those games that one of those rare games where I will literally go back and try and get all of the things because it just got that. It's just got this vibe where I just want to do that, which is rare for me.
Hmm.
And you've got these little chameleons that you've got to look around the level,
Oh yeah.
and there's
I
these
found okay.
chameleons.
I
Yeah,
found all the Astros, but I did not find all the chameleons. I found most of the chameleons. I don't think I found all of them. Yeah.
yeah. And if you find a chameleon, because they're obviously chameleons, so they like blend in.
Yeah.
You have to just like stare at them, and then you unlock like a bonus level.
Yeah.
So you've got every level has a bonus level, so you're doubling the content almost in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great
So,
game. It's been so long since
isn't
I
it?
played it. I played it like when it came out. I don't know what year that was.
And comfort wise, it's actually better than the PSVR 2 like default. Like PSVR 2 for me was one of the most uncomfortable headsets I've ever played.
Okay.
I had to crank it so tight just to keep it in place for the sweet spot
Uh-huh.
that it was like giving me headaches. Whereas now I've got the global cluster thing, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like default was horrible. Whereas the default of this to me was way more comfortable. I don't like the fact that I mean, I don't think I'll bother because I'm only playing a few games. But if I was keeping this like as a long term headset, I would definitely remove the elastic thing that you did out of the back because it is constantly trying to squeeze you.
Yeah.
But it's not like really painful. It's just like a little bit, and I think, like I say, I'm really surprised. I thought this was going to feel like the main thing with it really is the text old in terms of like having to fuck about with the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
It was such a pain in the arse, like just setting the thing up with all the cables. It's like, oh my god, this is really horrible. Like, how did they get? It's surprising they sold so many of the headsets for the PSVR one because it's so annoying to set up. It's really annoying.
But nobody knew that until
Also,
they got it. They get it, and then they're like,
I guess
"Oh
so.
shit!" Yeah.
But maybe that put people off. Maybe that's like why PSVR 2 isn't doing as well because like people are just who bought the first one were like, oh my god, I really don't want to mess with that. Like VR's cool, but the setting up and everything's such a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. Like it's good. So yeah, that's annoying. Like the tracking is not very good. Like definitely have like when I'm trying to use my controller, like sometimes it gets stuck and then freezes and then it like jolts up and stuff.
Yeah. Wait until you try an aim controller if you do try that.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to ask, really. Like, obviously, me and you've talked privately about this, but I'm just curious, like, people who are listening who've played with PSVR ones, like, what are the must-have games? Should I I can get an aim controller for like £10, but as far as I can tell, the only game I would use it on is Farpoint. So, is it worth me paying £10 for the aim controller plus an extra £15, so £25, which is like what $30 to play Farpoint? Is it worth it? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't remember
Also,
it being a very long game. It does have a story.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be really good, but that maybe it was just really good at the time. I don't know. That's what I mean. Like it's difficult to know.
What I remember from it is you're just kind of going straight forward, kind of mostly just through kind of a straight corridor.
Yeah, you don't turn in this game at all.
And
I think they designed it because you can't really face forward, can't you? Like you can't.
Yeah, you need to stay face forward, and I just remember shooting tons of spider-like aliens, and that's kind of all it is.
Yeah, but did it feel cool, like having the aim controller, like using it?
Not. Well, and the aim controller has an analog stick on it, so that helps because you can use that for
Yeah.
movement.
But there are no other games really that because I'm only playing. I only want to play exclusives. There's no point in me playing other games that I've already played or are available on other
I
platforms.
feel like you're gonna get annoyed by
Um,
the tracking of the aim controller.
yeah, I just don't. I'll wait. I'll wait and see if I feel like it at some point. The
Mm-hmm.
main things right now is obviously I haven't got Move controllers. I've only got the headset and camera,
Mm-hmm.
so I can only play controller based stuff at the moment. But there's still a few controller games like there's this obviously Astro Bot. There is
Wipeout.
Wipeout.
You need Wipeout, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're a racing
Static
game.
is a
You're a
game
racing
I've
game
always
guy.
been.
What are you saying?
Yeah. Static looks like it could be good. You know, the like
Is that
puzzle box thing
that's
that
the
you have?
seated puzzle game?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's kind of like
I mean, there's
a lot of trial and error with that game.
yeah. Is there? I leave your recommendations, people in the chat, like what is it? The comments.
Yeah, YouTube
Like,
comment.
what should I be buying for a PSVR one?
Blood
Even
and
without move
Truth,
controls, I'll get
but
Blood and
Blood and
Truth, but
Truth.
I've got to get move controllers.
Oh, you have to have move controllers. Yeah. Uh,
I'll get it if it's worth getting it. If there's,
yeah.
but is that the only game I should get for move controllers? I don't know. What other games are there
Oh, remember we
for
talked
move
about Iron
controllers?
Man. If you'd rather have the better graphics of the PS4 versus the Quest one,
Oh yeah,
and I played Iron
I thought
Man.
you said it was blurry though.
Iron Man? No, it's blurry on Quest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So you think
yeah,
it's the best version is on the PSVR?
yeah. Based on that comparison video I sent you, yeah, I've
Although I
barely.
guess you could technically increase the resolution on the Quest though with the
Yeah, but
this game's optimized.
you saw that one level, the lighting. Like they don't have good lighting on the Quest compared to PSVR.
Yeah, the one that you sent me, like there was a picture of the like city environment. It looks like
Yeah.
there's virtually no buildings in the Quest
Oh, there
version.
were buildings. They just weren't lit up. There were no lights in them. It just looked so black and like so dark. Whereas the PSVR one, all the buildings were lit up and had lights inside of them and shit. Yeah. But I've barely played the Quest one. I only tried it a little bit because I already beat it on PSVR, and I was standing with move controllers and it was working fine. Like, and I was spinning around in 360 and everything, and it worked fine.
Yeah, I heard that's like one of the very few games where you can literally spin around because that would annoy me. Like having to use some sort of weird artificial turn with the move controllers would really
Yeah.
annoy me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't need to
But
play
we'll leave it
Resident
there.
Evil. You don't need to play Resident Evil 7
No,
because you already have that on PC.
yeah,
Yeah.
with motion controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there's not. I don't think there's that much, but I am curious if anyone's got recommendations. I mean, I've obviously got it for free, so it doesn't really matter to me that much. Like, even if I just played Astro Bot, I'd be happy. Like the fact that it makes me sad that so many people are never going to get to experience Astro Bot
Yeah.
because they never ported it over or anything. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah,
must
no, it's like it's locked down to like this old archaic system. It's kind of sad.
they must have made very little money and just decided this isn't worth, investing in.
Well, I think they made the new one, which was obviously not VR, and I think they just didn't want to compromise the non-VR version for VR
Mm-hmm.
because they would have to really redesign, like the way that they designed the levels and everything in this. Like, imagine trying to do that, but with not a VR version, it just wouldn't work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people can't just look around in a flat screen, so the non-VR versions do feel like a different type of experience compared to this.
Did you play it?
It's a shame. I've played because they did like a free pack-in thing with the
Oh, okay.
PS5, so you can play like a bunch of levels. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's fun, but it's not the same as like playing just first chapter of Astro Bot in VR is like way better than the flat thing that they've done.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Yep.
All right. So there was this trailer needs to get enlarged. It doesn't even or this video. It's not a trailer. It's somebody's video. I guess that's a weird aspect ratio. Uh, so there was a bundle recently. Maybe it was Humble Bundle where it had Dig VR and some other games like really cheap. And I was curious about Dig VR because Fluke from Recentered, I think he said he liked it, and I thought I might like it. So you're in a what's this called? This is called an excavator, I guess.
Digger.
And you there's a tutorial. The hardest part with this game is the controls. So you have two joysticks, one on the left for your left hand and one for your right hand. And each joystick has 4 inputs. So the left joystick, you go left and right to turn your digger or excavator, whatever you want to call it, and then you press forward and back to I can't even remember anymore, like to make the arm go forward. But then on the right joystick, you push forward and back to like make maybe it's the front of the arm move back and forth. And then left, I can't remember which it is. Left maybe makes the bucket curl up, like curl to, hold dirt. And maybe right on the joystick makes it open the bucket. And I just found this really hard to manage with my brain. All of these 8 different inputs. And then on the front, like in the middle, there are 2 levers for forward and back. And it's like tank controls. And your digger has tank treads. And I don't know, you can see in this video, it's showing at the top left the orientation of your cabin compared to the tank treads. So you pretty much will always want to have your cabin oriented the same as the tank treads when you're moving it around to make it make sense. Because if you've turned like 45 degrees to the left and then you start trying to move the thing around, it's like, whoa, it's all crazy because you're facing 45 degrees to the left, but then pushing forward makes it go forward on your right because that's the way the tank treads are still oriented. So I did the tutorial and then I did 2 or 3 levels. Like I don't know, I dug somebody's pond out for them and you get maybe extra points if you don't also damage other things in their yard. Then there was someone, so I guess they're trying to be kind of funny in some of these stories. This woman was complaining because her husband kept stinking up the house with his shit. So she put an outhouse in the backyard, and you have to go out there and dig up a pipe for his outhouse. And apparently you're saving their marriage because she's tired of smelling his shit. So you dig that up, then you have to go over to where the pipe is that you're going to put in there, and you pick it up. You have to change from the bucket to like a picker-upper type of attachment. And then you pick up the pipe, and then you go over and you drop the pipe in. Then you have to go over and change from the picker-upper attachment to like a stamping attachment or whatever you want to call where you stamp. Is that the right word? There's a tamp. I don't know. Where you're smashing the dirt down. What would you call that?
Tamp, yeah.
Tamp? Okay.
Tamper, yeah.
Tomp. So I'm tomping the dirt down with the tomper. And so I could see how this would be fun to somebody, but I don't think I'm going to go back into it. It's just not, there's just not enough to it. And I really struggle with the controls. I'm not very good at this at all. If you want this is kind of a brain teaser, just controlling this thing.
Yeah.
It also has mini games. There are 3 different mini games. You can do bowling, and you're bowling with this digger. The bowling ball is hanging from your digger arm, and you just and
Right.
there's different piles of pins that you have to try to knock over. And there was one where it's kind of like a crane machine, like in an arcade, where you have to collect things out of it with your scoop, and you only collect certain ones and to get certain points. Then there's a Zen mode where you can just like go in and do whatever you want. I didn't try that. I should have. So there's no like objective. You just dig and mess around. And, there's no like penalty for breaking stuff, like breaking the people's furniture or whatever. But I mean, this was in this extremely cheap bundle, so I'd say it's worth it if you can get it in that humble bundle. I think it was a humble bundle. You have you
Yeah,
ever
it was
been
a
interested in this game at all?
fantastic.
What was it?
Fanatical? Is it?
Oh, was it a fanatical?
Maybe, I can't remember.
I can
Maybe.
find out.
Yeah, if you can link it in the description or something so people can see it. I don't know. I was kind of interested in it, but I'm not. I don't know. It looks like it could be kind of interesting, but I've got so many other games I'd rather play that I've just never really got around to it.
It's called Wired VR Bundle. It was only $4.99, and yeah, it was on Fanatical. $4.99 for I think 5 games.
Yeah, I think I've got most of the other games because I looked at it and I think this was the only one that I probably would be interested in out of the bundle that I haven't got.
Here it was: Dig VR, The Falconeer, Arcade Paradise VR, The Last Worker, and Grip Combat Racing. So I already had Grip and The Falconeer, but remember we already talked about The Last Worker. I refunded that, but I was like, well, I'll take it if it's cheap as hell like this. Then I haven't
enjoyed that.
Yeah, we didn't like it. I didn't try Arcade Paradise VR, so I was like, all right.
You might like that.
You like Arcade Paradise?
I said you might like that.
Yeah, but I heard that a lot of it is like doing shit like doing the laundry.
Yeah, you're running a laundrette, so you're like having to do shit. I did a playtest for this before it released, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Oh, all right.
So I would try it. It.
I think I already redeemed the key. I think on that one. So, yeah, I'll try it. I might have already even installed it.
Yeah, give it a go.
Played it yet? Okay, so
yeah, I think Arcade Paradise is a good game. I think you should try it.
Fanatical Wired VR bundle. It's still there for $4.99. So I don't have anything else to say about this. Isn't a bad game, just kind of frustrating to control. You got to be kind of patient. So here's a demo, Pixel Dungeon VR demo. This game, I like. What's the game? What's the game we played? We've played together and we played it 3-player. Ancient Dungeon. I love Ancient Dungeon. So I thought maybe this will be like that. This game is kind of like a combination of Ancient Dungeon and Dungeons of Eternity. And I would say this game, it has better graphics than Ancient Dungeon, but and sound. The sound is actually better too. But I don't really like the gameplay. I felt like it was sending like too many enemies at me, and it was just mostly just fighting enemies, whereas Ancient Dungeon is a lot more like just exploration, and I really like the exploration part. And this game is you just do a level and then you fight the boss and then it's over. The boss of that level. Then you're just back out at the hub. Whereas Ancient Dungeon, you go through a level, you fight a boss, then you proceed to the next level. I want it to go like that. I want to just keep going through levels and then fight a final boss. And this game doesn't have that.
Roguelike. Yeah.
Yeah. This game, I think there are only 3 levels in this game, and in the demo, they would only let you play one of those. So it seems like this game isn't done yet. Like, it seemed like they're still working on it. And You have a sword and a bow and arrow and a crossbow, and you can keep. I think you can keep unlocking more different types of weapons and stuff. I noticed performance issues, even though this is a Minecraft-looking game. I was noticing performance issues.
What,
Also,
PC?
yeah, this was on PC.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't know what that's about. And just based on what I played, I think it's a nah. I'll stick with Ancient Dungeon.
Yeah. We need to play
So,
more of that, actually.
yeah. So that's it for that. Here's another demo. Don't Move demo. This is part of that Steam Next Fest. There's 30 VR games you can demo. This is a game where you're supposed to stay perfectly still and just don't flinch because I don't know if you move, you'll fail and it'll be over. There's like a
Mm.
robot throwing stuff like a saw blade at you and shooting guns at you and stuff. There's spiders, snakes, a ghost, a sea monster. I tried this twice. The first time I tried it, I was sitting there perfectly still, and it was like, "Fail, you moved." I was like, "What? I didn't do shit." So then I was kind of like, this game sucks. Then they did a patch, and I was curious. Maybe they fixed that issue. So then I went back into it, and then I was able to go all the way through it that time. So maybe they fixed the sensitivity of it or something. And it has good graphics.
But
But
I've
there's
heard
not.
performance is really bad.
Oh yeah, there are people complaining about performance. I didn't have a performance issue, but
Interesting.
I have a 4090,
True.
so I don't know. I mean, you're just sitting there still. It's not like you're moving around.
Yeah.
You know.
I noticed because I was looking at the discussions on Steam, I noticed that even the developers like, have you got any ideas for this game? It's like almost like they've got an idea of a concept, but they're already struggling for ideas of
Yeah.
what other because basically you're just going to sit there. This thing's going to play out. If you manage to get through it, then you move on to another scene. If you don't, then you have to retry it. But then,
Yeah.
like, how many different scenes can they do until they run out? Like, you're literally just
Yeah.
sitting there, just not moving.
And it would have to be really cheap because this is just something you're just gonna put someone in as a goof and just
Yeah,
you know.
it's one of those cheap little demos that you can put some people in. You don't have to explain anything to them. It's like you just sit there and don't move. That's basically the idea of it. So it's not really going to be some sort of long game that you're going to like have any sort of depth to it. But
Yeah.
I think it could be fun, especially for like if you've got people around and you want to put people in this thing and yeah.
Yeah. I would never flinch at this stuff, but I think most people seem to like not be able to take this kind of thing. Like normal people, like they actually flinch or like have to take the headset off. Like say like those spiders will come up and crawl on you and jump in your face. Like I think normal people actually get bothered by that. Would you agree?
Wasn't there something similar to this where you had to sit with your finger on the keyboard, like the space bar or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, well, I remember that from like the DK2 days. Did that come out later too?
And they had like spiders and shit that would crawl over your desk, and
Yeah.
like you would have to not take. You basically had to keep your finger on the space bar, otherwise you lost.
Yeah,
Seems
yeah.
very similar in concept to that.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go to upcoming games. We have a lot of new upcoming games that we've learned about this month.
Yeah,
So
we
there's
do.
World War Z VR coming out August 12th for PC.
Z, World War Z.
World War Z, August 12th on PC and Quest. We'll do that trailer now.
Some people were saying that they think this is like a wave shooter, and I've watched the trailer like with that in mind, and I can't tell. Like there are sections where it looks like you're moving, but majority of the trailer is you literally just standing still, like shooting loads of zombies. So I'm curious if they bring this out and this is just a wave shooter. That's just going to be. Oh, in fact, there's one like you can see the trailer like you're on a zip line and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't think it is a wave shooter
This
unless it's like a
isn't
multi-point.
It's not my type of game because like I like more exploration. This looks like it's just nonstop shooting.
Yeah. It's based on the flat game was actually supposed to be really good, and it was
Really?
four-player co-op. It was kind of like a Left 4 Dead type thing.
Uh huh.
And then for some reason they've built this VR version, which is a single-player only thing, and I just don't understand. Like, a co-op was such a massive part of the. It's like bringing a Left 4 Dead game without co-op. It just wouldn't make sense to me. So
Yeah.
that to me just completely just loses me interest in the game. If I could play this with you, it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to play this by myself.
Yeah.
Don't see why.
And the developer Saber Interactive, they did Mud Runner VR, which you did not like.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
We'll
So
see.
yeah,
It's not high on my list of interesting games.
yeah. Let's see. What was the next one? Thief VR Legacy of Shadow. It's coming out in 2025, and it's all platforms. This
Vertigo
is
Games.
yeah. Well, they're the publisher. The developer is Maze Theory,
Maze Theory.
and they
Yeah.
did Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, and Infinite Insight. I didn't do any. I didn't try any of those.
No, I haven't. I'm not. I've heard very mixed reports on all those games. Like
Yeah,
they're all okay. Like none of them are like amazing games. I don't know how this Maze Theory. How do they keep getting these IPs? Like they keep getting these big games,
yeah. I
but
don't
yet the
know.
games they make aren't like massive commercial successes or anything. So I
Yeah.
don't really understand. I mean, I've never really played the Thief games. This is not a game I've never played, so it's not. I'm not really excited about Thief in VR. Um, but it looks cool. It looks good. Like we haven't had many good stealth VR games, so maybe this could be a good one.
I might have played a Thief game when I was a lot younger, but I can't. I'm not sure. But what I noticed the most from this trailer is lots of fog, which, as we know, that appeals more to you than to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love a bit of fog.
Maybe it's London. I don't know. Oh, it
Yeah,
is probably right.
maybe.
I mean
In fact,
that
well, yeah, is that?
was that Big
I think it's
Ben or
fake.
some
I think
shit.
it's a. I think it might just be a fantasy area. I don't think it's a real, like, real place. But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the lore of the original games. So
Okay. All right. Um, what was the next one? Reach. That came
Reach.
out of nowhere. No idea about that. Reach is 2025, and that's all platforms. And here's the trailer. This is by End Dreams, who did Phantom Covert
A
Ops,
good.
Fract, Synapse, Ghostbusters, Power Wash, Frenzies, and Vendetta Forever.
Oh,
What the fuck ever happened?
Ghostbusters.
Whatever happened to Frenzies?
I don't know if did it get cancelled. I don't know. I can't
Hmm.
remember.
Yeah. I liked Phantom Covert Ops. I
Yeah,
liked Fract. Did you ever play Synapse or whatever? How are you supposed to say it?
no, it's on my list.
Right.
It's on my list to get on the PS5, but I've not got it yet. I'm waiting for it to come on a good sale because it's not. It's not really my. I don't like roguelikes, but
Mm-hmm.
I still want to try it. I've heard it's really good, like because they use like the eye tracking, so you can literally like force power people and throw them around and use your eyes to like grab them. It's like you bring your hands up, but it's
Mm-hmm.
based on your eye tracking, so it's really accurate. But I think End Dreams are a decent studio, so I have good expectations of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think personally the best game they've made so far is what's the kayak one again? Phantom Covert
Phantom
Ops.
Covert Ops. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
thought that
like
was a good
that.
game.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with this. This looks like they've taken all their experience of all the games they've made and like they're building something that's more like a fleshed out, full, not AAA, but like high quality game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks good.
Yeah. What's the game that this is reminding me of? You mentioned it
Stride.
earlier. Stride. That's the game. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a,
you're running, you parkour, like jumping, wall running, platforming, climbing. There's a lot of traversal in this game. By the looks of it, but you've also got combat, so you've got like bow and arrow. I think it's very bow and arrow centric. I think you can pick
okay.
up. I was watching like a developer interview, and they were saying like you can pick up you can kill an enemy and like pick up their gun, but I don't think you can like reload it or anything, so you can't keep it with you. You can only like pick it up, kill people in the area. Once you run out of ammo, you've got to like find another gun to pick up, which I think is a good mechanic. Like the bow and arrows work well in VR, so I can see that being a good thing.
Well, except for sometimes the Quest can't track it very well. If you bring your right hand back, like behind your head.
Yeah, if you pull it really far back, it can cause problems.
Yeah. All right. Next one is Lumine's Arise. That's coming out 2025 for PC and PlayStation. I guess
Tetris Effect developers.
Yeah, Tetris Effect developers. This will be more
Very
up your alley.
Vibes.
More up your alley than me.
Yeah, I love Tetris Effect. I mean, Tetris is fun, but I just love the story mode they did. Like what's it called? I can't remember. They had like a name for it, but like a journey mode or something.
Is there a story?
I just love the pacing of it. No, but it's like you've played Tetris Effect, haven't you?
I played the demo and I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah. To me, like the whole game, like there's like I think it's like journey mode or something where it like you play through these levels. And then you'll like go to a new area and like new visuals and stuff like are going on in the background, and it just feels really cool, like the way that they paced it. Because when you play a conventional game of Tetris, you basically the game just gets progressively harder until you fail. But with this mode, it like ebbs and flows, so it gets harder and harder as you get towards the end of the level. But then you'll get past that chapter, and then it opens up a new chapter. But you're still within the same game. You still got the same blocks and everything in your like. It doesn't reset everything, but then it'll just like slow it down so that you've like the music will slow down. So then you get a chance to like catch your breath, and it just means that you get to enjoy it and play for longer, rather than like just having this high intensity that gets harder and harder until you die. It's not made for that. It's made for you to go through the levels and like the visuals and the music and everything just kind of works well together. And I'm hoping this is going to have a similar sort of mode that will do that with this, because this is very Tetris-y. It looks like it looks like a different version of Tetris, basically. But
my issue is my issue is I don't like the visuals. It's like,
but the thing is, what you got to realize is that this is like what you're seeing on the screen will just be one level. Like they'll change, they constantly, like with Tetris Effect, they're constantly changing the visuals, or they're changing the backgrounds, they're changing the color scheme. Everything like changes as you play through the game, so you can't really look at this and say this is like not, because there'll be different areas that look different.
Like it's not colorful enough. Like I have this issue where like on screen at one time I want to see like more variety.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm excited for this. I love Tetris Effects, and this is a game that I'll. It's a cool game to sit down with a controller and just like vibe out. So.
Okay. All right. Next one is Demio X Dungeons and Dragons Battle Marked. That's Q4 2025. All platforms.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Resolution Games. You sort of like Demio, right?
Demio's fun. I played it with you. I don't think you really played it with us, did you? It was me, Josh, and Ivan.
No, I played it with you guys, and I just complained.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I whined.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really a big Dungeons and Dragons fan, so that doesn't really interest me that much.
Yeah.
And I was getting kind of bored of Demio. I think the big problem is it gets very, very repetitive, and like it feels unfair a lot of times because it is randomized. Like I'm not really a big fan of like games where it's just like, here's random shit. Sometimes you're going to get really good stuff that's going to help you. Sometimes you're going to have a bad run and it's really bad. Like, okay, well, that doesn't feel like using skill. It's just luck. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my problem with any of these turn-based type of things, or things where you're using dice and cards. Yeah. So it's just never been my thing. And I've never played Dungeons and Dragons in my life. Have you? I guess not. No. Okay. A little too nerdy for even for me, I think. I don't know. All right.
I'm not. A lot of people will like that though.
a lot of people will like it.
With the Demio Dungeons
Yeah,
Dragons things, that'll be like a big thing for them, but
yeah,
it's just not for us. So
yeah. Deadpool VR is late 2025, coming out only on Quest 3. This is by Twisted Pixel, who made Wilson's Heart, Defector, and Path of the Warrior. So they make good games.
they're
I
good
beat,
developer, yeah.
yeah, I beat Wilson's Heart and Defector. I never beat Path of the Warrior though.
Was Path of already that like Street Fighter type, Streets of
Yeah,
Rage type
yeah,
thing
where
in
you're
first person?
punching, and there was a kick button.
Yeah, it was all right. It was very repetitive though.
Yeah,
I
just
think
like yeah,
Wilson's Heart and Defector, I thought were good solid games.
yeah,
I've wondered what these guys were doing because I should say guys and girls because they've been really quiet and now we know like they've been working on this. I think they're in good hands. Didn't they make a flat game which did really well? I can't remember what it was called now. But they made a flat game which was really like actually a really good game. I'll try and find it while we're talking about. But I'm interested in this.
We're both googling it at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It's interesting. They're only showing. If you look on their website, it's only showing their VR games.
Oh, I see the B Team, whatever that is. Loco Cycle, the Stringer, the Gunstringer,
Explosion Man. That was it.
Explosion Man. That was like on PlayStation and shit. Explosion Man.
Yeah, that was a good game though. Explosion Man. I remember that. Okay. That was a cool game. And Comic Jumper, that was another good game.
Or maybe that was Xbox. I don't know. Maybe it was both. Oh, it says winner Xbox Live Arcade Awards. Yeah, it was Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, that was a good game. So they can make good games. They're a good studio.
Yeah, I watched somebody play that on YouTube once. Yeah,
it's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
So this was a really nice surprise. It was. I remember in the beginning of the year when we were like, "Oh man, we've got nothing confirmed. There's virtually nothing coming out."
Yeah.
And now we've already had quite a few decent games, like nothing like high end.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Midnight Walk, but all of a sudden, just like last year, we've got like a big pile of games to play. I feel like it could like sometimes it can feel like VR's got like this momentum where you get a bunch of good games and then like a year later there's virtually nothing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're getting to the point now where they've got so much stuff in the works that every year now we're going to have good stuff. Like look at all the stuff we're getting last year, like Batman, Metro, Behemoth, Alien Rogue Incursion, like 4 big bangers.
Yeah.
And now we've got Thief, we've got Deadpool, we've got another game I'm probably not I'm not thinking of, but Reach and yeah.
Oh, the next one. The next one we're going to talk about. That one too.
What's the next one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a big IP.
Is that coming this year though? I thought it was next year.
Oh, that's 2026. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did you hear who's doing the voice of Deadpool?
Yeah, I don't really know. He's in like How I Met Your Mother or something. I don't really know him that much.
There's also a show in the U.S. called Doogie Howser when he was a kid. So it's Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing a Ryan Reynolds impression basically.
Yeah, and maybe they couldn't afford Ryan Reynolds. I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But Ryan Reynolds made a video which I thought was quite good, like reacting to it.
Yeah.
Which is all good PR for it.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City. This comes out in 2026 for PC and Quest. And the trailer doesn't show any gameplay or anything, but there's a Steam page where they have some images. Who is this by? This is by Cortopia. Cortopia Studios. They did Wands, Down the Rabbit Hole, and Gorn 2. Did you play? Like Wands was a long time ago. I think I might have played that on Gear VR or something. Down the Rabbit Hole I liked.
I played that.
Gorn 2 was okay.
Yeah, I met the developers of Cortopia at Gamescom, and they were like really good dudes. I really liked them.
Oh,
so
right.
I'm happy that they've got like a really good big IP like this to work on.
So here are screenshots, and they look good. If this is like how it'll actually look on PC.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be like a fighting game, from what I understand, like a co-op 4-player, like the actual. Because obviously the flat non-VR versions, they're like a Streets of Rage type thing, aren't they? Like similar to that.
Yeah. So is this going to be like Path? Is this going to be like Path of the Warrior? You think?
Similar, I guess.
I guess so.
I think so.
Well, if they can get fighting that's similar or as good as Batman Arkham Shadow, this will be really good.
Yeah, I think this could be good.
Yeah,
I'm interested. Not until next year, unfortunately, but we've already got a good amount coming this year. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what else is coming out this year. I've just remembered a big release.
What?
RoboQuest.
Oh, that's coming out this year. I didn't know that was confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was. I haven't got a release date, but it was always confirmed, like end of this year. So.
Oh, okay. Nice. And you're saying that's the best game they have. Does that include the stuff that's currently in development?
Yeah, I was the golden game.
The golden game. Okay.
I would say
And you don't even like roguelikes, but you like this game anyway.
It's really fun. Honestly, it's so good.
Okay.
There's so many guns. The movement's really like you can literally unlock like grappling hooks and jetpacks, and you slide on rails and you double jump in and you slide in, and it's really fun.
All right, cool. I feel like there might be stuff we're forgetting other than RoboQuest, but I don't know. I mean,
yeah, this probably is. I was just like that was just a plug for Flat to VR. So.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Was there anything else announced? Is that it?
I'm sure. I mean, I only put in this list like the stuff that actually interests me. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be tons of other stuff that doesn't interest me.
There's still a lot though. Like it's like amazing how VR they never seem to announce stuff that far ahead.
Yeah,
it always feels like. I mean, maybe it's a good thing, but you always feel like, oh, there's nothing coming out. Oh, actually, now we've got like 10 things. So
maybe it takes a while to have a trailer that's good. Maybe the game has to be like pretty developed. You would know better than me before you can make a good trailer. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you just don't want to announce things too early because people lose interest. Like, unless it's a massive game, that's something. Like, I remember San Andreas, they announced that, and then it's just disappeared. And Splinter Cell, they announced that, and then that got cancelled. So maybe they're just trying to avoid like these situations where they announce these games that are big IPs and then they just never happen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
Are you gonna beat more? You're gonna beat more games?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Well, what are you gonna play?
Well, obviously Astro Bot.
Astro Bot.
I'm gonna be playing Behemoth still. I'm still playing that.
Okay.
I still want to go back to play Batman.
All right. What about Alien?
Are you
gonna do Alien now that they said they're not working on it anymore?
Oh yeah, they've announced that they're not working anymore on the VR version. So I guess it's as good as it's gonna get. So I may as well play that as well. Yeah. True.
Yeah. All right, I guess that's it.
Have we got anything coming out next month? July?
We have we? I don't know of anything that I'm excited about.
Well, that's good. Means I can catch up.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Unless something comes out of nowhere, which it probably will.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
See ya.